All right. All right. What's the drama you people are complaining about? What do we got today? What's up, everybody? Yeah, there it is. Benjamin, don't overpost it, okay? You don't wanna fall down the Markinator rabbit hole of being known purely for drama. Um, Absolutely nothing, huh? Anna being horrific? Okay, fine, let's see. 3-minute, 15-second clip. All right, what is it?
Brother gave a lot of money for me to read this comment, so we'll do it.
Oh my God!
Jenk, so Vosh responded to the clip of you yesterday.
Yeah, okay, all right. I do not support like the financing of drama, okay? I do not support the financing of drama, just to make it perfectly clear, all right? It's the artificial imposition of capital onto drama. You pay people enough money to shit talk each other and they will. Why is Pigeon yelling at me? Pigeon! She want water? 1 second. Somebody in chat speak raw chicken. Can somebody explain to me what she wants? What does she want? She want water? Yeah. Does she want to zoom? What is this? What is this? We wiggle? We wiggle? What is this? What does she want? Don't be annoying. Don't be annoying. She didn't want water. She didn't want water. All right. The streamable is better quality. Dino Smash, why would I want a high quality video file for what I know will be low quality takes?
By saying that he's not a grifter and that he thinks there's a gas leak at TYT. Okay, that seems clever. He said he thinks very highly of you and Anna. Well, he has a curious way of showing it.
He calls people that he thinks highly of bitches and the R word. Is that what?
Oh, come on. What? She was literally on Twitter palling around with blue checks, like shit talking Lance. I can't, come on. I can't take this seriously. Wait, yeah, it's like a 5-year-old. It's like he says the B word. Come on.
What he does? That's what he does?
Yeah,
interesting.
he's got a...
Also, wait, I have called people that I like bitches and retard before. That is true, actually. I'm not saying that that's the case here, but you know, it's I have done that. Yeah.
Curious way of showing that high regard, but feels justified in informing his audience that he disagrees and was shocked by the response he got for Anna.
Listen, I think Vosh is trash. Okay, and if you actually genuinely do watch Vosh on a regular basis, you also know he's trash, which makes me wonder, why do you keep writing into us, urging us to have that trash on our show? And yes, Vosh, I think you're garbage. I think you're trash. Found a lot of...
I can't believe she would use the G slur against me. She does seem a little mad, yeah.
Interesting things about what you had to say about the transgender community. Tried to scrub the internet of those videos.
What?
I found them. Really?
Whoa! Whoa! Oh my God! What? Wait, first of all, scrub the internet of those videos. I have videos on those videos. The one, like the Thought Slime Meltdown stream, I've done videos about that where I showed all of it. None of the... What? She has the tapes. She found them on this backup site where all of my deleted videos are, called youtube.com/c/Vosh. I found the secret archive of all your bad takes. I went to least recent video. And I pulled that. That's not even like remotely a secret. I never hide or bury drama. Also, isn't it crazy how every time the same thing happens? Because like, we DM'd a decent amount, back when we were on good terms because we agreed with each other and I respected her. And she was like, I don't know why people are so mean to you. I don't understand. I've seen your videos and they're great. What, like, so what do you think is more likely? Do you think that only in the past few months has she suddenly discovered the content of the Thought Slime stream, which is like 5 years old and constantly posted in left circles to smear me? Or do you think now that I'm not on her team, she suddenly thinks it's bad? That's how you can tell a person is completely unprincipled. It's when something only becomes an issue if you're suddenly against them. You know that kind of person, right? There are like, interpersonally, there are people like that, where if they're friends with you and you fuck up or something, they're like, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal, you know, like, oh, that. But then, like, later, if you're no longer friends, they're like, oh, actually, like, when that happened, that was, like, really fucked up. It's like, well, what? Was the problem with the action, or is it just, like, totally contextual, you know? No principles, none whatsoever. How long till she brings up the Vosh? Oh, she's gonna be like, yeah, I've heard the secret tapes that Vosh has never discussed before, where people allege that he's a pedophile. Yeah, the real shebang. Dude, people, everyone but me is terrible. How long till she calls your cock mid? Just the full cat blacklight, 20,000 word Substack fucking Twitter tweet thread. It's just, it's like a snowball rolling down the hill where everyone who hates me eventually just becomes the same guy, you know, like the same person. Yeah, fantastic. Release the cock videos for Vosh. But yeah, I'll say it. Vosh has a garbage penis. Vosh, can you disagree with somebody without them losing their shit? Well, I think it's kind of an indication of the fact that my brain is huge and I'm very emotionally stable. That for the most part, when I disagree with a person or when my positions on a person change, it's usually pretty, it's pretty principled, I feel. Like, what I'm attacking Anna Kasparian specifically over the shit that she's doing, you know what I mean? Whereas with her, it's like, oh, well, actually, he always was trash. Or like, actually, I have found these leaked tape. You know, it's just, if you don't like a person, there's a reason for it. And if you do, there's a reason for it. I can easily say I think Anna Kasparian's been an asset to the left in many instances throughout her career. And that it's this recent turn that's been insane. But like, you know, but that's because I'm not like a weirdo. So anyway, we're only like a minute in. Okay, we'll see.
Curious why you thought it was okay to say the kinds of things about them that you did, including the fact that
because I thought it was funny.
You think that they have mental illness, they're struggling with mental.
Everyone who disagrees with me is mentally ill.
Mental illness, that's what this is about. They're the most toxic people on the internet.
Let's move on from this one.
I've got the receipts.
It's just, Anna, it's not a secret. Does anyone remember the title of the video? Everyone can look. Does anyone remember the title of the video where I went over the Thought Slime stream? Does anyone remember? Because it was like a year and a half ago or something, but I went over all of it. Does anyone remember what it was called? I can't remember the title of every video that yeah, okay, hold on. What is it? It's would it be like could I just type in like description? No, that's a different one, Merrick. I went over it specifically in one video. What is it? Rave Dubin, do you have? No. The everything I've been canceled for video is a different one. That covers stuff broadly, but there's one where I specifically talk about that video. Vosh goes over Thought Slime stream. Is that it? Oh, wait, is it Vosh, am I a fascist? I think that was how I phrased it. Or like, am I fascist? Or something like that. Because it was in response to somebody who had accused me of being one for the content of that. Oh, look, I looked it up. At the top is the Vanguard. Jenk and Anna fire back at Vosh and TYT. He's... hold on. Where, is that not what it's called? Ah, damn it. Well, it's out there somewhere. Maybe someone in chat will find it. Here? Oh, Posadas John. I wonder if it occurred to me at all back during. Oh yeah, this is from a fan channel, from the VFX fan channel. I know I have it somewhere on my channel, but this would be it, right? Yeah, this is it. Yeah, this is the content. Anyway, it's somewhere on my channel too. You know, whatever the case may be.
I'm ready to show him, but calling me a bitch turf because I just.
Wait, hold on. Did I call her a turf? I don't think. Wait, hold on. I stand by the bitch comment. Did I call her a turf? I don't think her rhetoric is turfy. I don't remember saying that. If I did, then I think that's imprecise and was probably just. I think you did. Okay, then I don't think that's a precise description of her ideology. I think she's being transphobic. I don't think she's a turf. I do think she's a bitch.
Don't think that it's you know, politically advantageous to refer to women as birthing people or people with a uterus.
Oh my dude, holy shit. Fuck. The beef gets so boring so fast if it's all gonna be like fucking pearl clutching, man. Oh my fucking god. Dude, I'm sorry that one medical document you saw the term birthing person, which was referring to all people who can give birth, which isn't just women, because you yourself have acknowledged that trans men can give birth. I'm sorry that you're so self-centered and absorbed that you saw that term and have since then determined to like make your offense at that term part of your identity, to the point where you are lying when you say that it was referring to women, because you know goddamn well the point of that term is to refer to people who can give birth, which includes people who are not women, something you've acknowledged. Like yeah, it's like ridiculous.
That's terrible. I can't do that. But you can say some of the most disgusting things about the transgender community and then pretend like you have the moral high ground?
Correct. Not pretend, I do. Always have. All the time. Obviously, yes.
You're garbage, Vosh. I don't respect you, which is why I don't want to talk to you. It's that simple.
Yeah. But he would talk with, by the way, she was willing to talk with Adam and Sitch, who had gone after her for years, and those are like actual vile conservatives. And she was like, oh, well, I've always been willing to talk to people who, you know, like, I'm really cool. I'm politically homeless, and like I'm just willing to have convos with people I do. You know why? Because Adam and Sitch won't call her on her shit, and I will. It's that simple. Anna's smart, sure, but she's not me. She knows perfectly well that in a direct conversation it would be over, which is why she won't have it. It's literally that simple. Like you know, there's you can equivocate all you want, but like that, and she's correct in this assumption. There are lots of people less intelligent than me who aren't smart enough to know they shouldn't talk to me, but she's smart enough to know that she shouldn't.
Yeah, okay. So look, guys, the thing I can't stand is when people say crazy, horrible things about us, and they go, "What? Why are you grabbing me? Why are you grabbing me?"
Attention, he wants it so bad.
Wait, how am I the one doing it? I just smile and laugh. You could say like, whatever. Wait, oh wait, I'm not the one pearl clutching. What? Oh wait, which one? I'm not the one pearl clutching here. I'm fully familiar with this. With e-banter. Why are you pretending I'm the one pearl clutching? Pigeon, why are you screaming so much? Why? I don't know what's up with her, guys. Pigeon's screaming. I don't know. She also screamed at the Humanist Report for very mild dude, do you guys remember all of her deleted tweets on birthing persons or whatever? She was screaming at everyone. It's purely emotional, you know? It's like she's begging people to be sexist about it. Like, so she can pearl clutch harder. She was attacking everyone, and she's objectively wrong too. So again, she simultaneously believes these two things. Hey, as long as we're like clip farming or whatever, Anna, you can like respond to this anytime you want, okay? Why do you say birthing person refers to women when you acknowledge the existence of trans men and non-binary people, many of whom can give birth, who aren't women? You know the term refers to a broader group of people. It would be like saying, like for prostate cancer or whatever, it'd be like saying something like people with prostates. Like, that doesn't mean men. If they meant men, they'd say men, but there are like people who aren't men who have prostates. Though admittedly, trans women tend not to get prostate cancer because of estrogen or whatever, but you know what I mean. Like, these two beliefs are not capable of being held at the same time. So this is like purely emotion, low IQ, whiny, you know, and I don't respect it. I don't. But she'll never address this. She's been doing this for months. It is so easy to pivot to the right, man. It is so crazy fucking easy. Holy shit.
Congratulations, Vosh. You got the attention
Thank you.
you so desperately want. You're trash.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you.
That's what I think of you.
It's like, well, I'm just calling you guys the R word and then stuff. But why are you attacking me?
What? Cenk, when have I ever said, why are you why would I, if I responded that way every time people attacked me, that'd be my entire channel all the time, because I'm always under attack and I'm taking the heat. Listen, okay? Like clay, all right? I am hardened in the heat. Not an erection joke. This is a great pause frame, by the way. This is very good. That's like emote worthy right there. What was I saying? He's just defending Ana and doesn't know what's going on. This is unironically why I like Cenk, okay? Cenk is ride or die. If you're friends with Cenk and you call him at 3 a.m. and you're like, dude, I need a place to bury a body and I need you to, like, I need an alibi, like, right now, okay? He will do it for you. He will do or say anything to defend Ana. And I genuinely feel like it's like authentic puppy dog loyalty. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Like, I actually find it's like a very rare trait, and I think it's very endearing, even if politically it's really bad in this case. Yeah. Yeah, it's like he's just sitting over there. He's just like blind firing. He's like, well, the thing I don't like about Vosh is, you know, what he's short, and you know, I don't like the stuff he said about Nicaragua. What? I don't know. He's stinky.
Okay, so guys,
you seem to be having a lot of fun with this drama. Yeah, it is fun. I won't pretend it's not like actually disappointing though. You know, obviously it's a net negative politically, the direction that Ana is taking. But it is very silly, you know. It's one of those rare bits of, so to put in perspective like how bad this is from their side of things, okay? When I had beef with Professor Flowers, my community was split over it. When I had beef with Mel, my community was split over it. When I had beef with not DJ Mule, that was pretty overt. When I had beef with what's the name of the big fella? Black guy doesn't like FD Signifier, that's right, yeah. When I've spoken negatively on him, my community's been split in it, okay? To be clear on how like overt this is, TYT is one of the largest left-leaning networks on the internet, and my community is not even a little bit split. That is how bad they've behaved. Like that is how slanted this drama is. Normally, I feel some level of frustration or panic because I feel like I'm going to have to work to justify what I say or my positions or whatever. But in this case, they have so thoroughly denigrated themselves that I don't feel that need to my community. I'll still explain why. I mean, I've been explaining, but I don't have to because it's so obvious, you know? It's kind of crazy. Vosh, I think the only time this community has been in full agreement is here with TYT, with Shu, and with Destiny. The community was split on Destiny for ages because so many of his people were in my community as well. And even with Shu, there's been variants. I genuinely think this thing with TYT is the cleanest break I've ever seen, and it's against the biggest left-leaning network that's ever disagreed with me. So I guess it's just funny because of how obvious it all is. Though, of course, the outcome of any situation in which a person disagrees with me, the outcome is all according to Kaikaku. Here, let's finish this damn clip.
Oh, it's not just about Bush. To all the criers out there who say horrible, horrible things about us, and then when we tweak you back,
that's so true. You've got your finger on the pulse of this discourse, Jake. I find him so endearing. I can't.
I don't need your stupid tears. Go away, okay? So fine, you like, I mean, what if I get like, look, I'm willing to talk to almost anybody. So you want to debate, what are we gonna debate?
We can just talk, man. I don't know if I'd want to debate Cenk on Ana because that kinda, I don't like debating people on other people, but it'd be fun to talk to him, you know? Send the email. I already have a line of communication with him that is underway. I don't know if it's going to pan out though. I mean, I did send messages to Ana Kasparian that she never replied to, and you know that bridge is pretty well burnt. She knows she shouldn't talk to me. she knows to stay the fuck away from me. So I'm not sure. But I wouldn't want to, like, epically tear Jank apart or anything like that. Just, like, sincerely, you know, I would much rather, I don't know what I want to do with I don't know what kind of conversation I want to have with him, to be perfectly honest with you. I just have a good old time is what I want. I just, like, nice time. Do you guys want to hear the last messages that I sent Anna Kasparian? It's not leaking DMs because they're my DMs. That's within the purview. Just so people don't accuse me of, like, because I reached out to her. The first that I sent her on April 11th was, I'm sure I'm not the first person to message you on this, but I really do not understand your takes and behavior on this birthing person thing. It doesn't seem like a position you can be argued out of, so I don't know what to say on that front, but I do have a high opinion of you and hope you come around in it eventually. And then the next day, I said, after drinking a lot, the alcohol in my blood compels me to message you again, though I don't expect a response. I have been unkind to you lately, previously and again today, and I don't feel I'm wrong in doing so, because I'm usually unkind to people acting the way you are right now. It's in character for me. I don't think I could have stuck around as long as I have if I was the sort of person to turn a blind eye to bad behavior when it's coming from people that I like. Still, I want to make one thing totally clear. Nothing erases your years of good work, and I am always willing to talk, no matter what you do or say, even if it's in private. I cannot understand why you're acting this way, but I do want to. I don't expect that'll ever happen, but in the meantime, I really do hope you are pulled from this. And I never got a response to either of those. So, like, to be clear, I get accused of being a drama mongerer, but I am so much more willing than, like, anyone. I never get shown the kindness that I show to other people. When it comes to trying to, like, resolve disagreements without turning it into a gigantic drama fest. So I don't want to hear it. That last one sounded a bit snide or sanctimonious, no? It should. I'm right and she's wrong. I'm better than her. It should sound snide. I don't shy away from sounding better than people when I am. This was right in the middle of her birthing person meltdown on Twitter. Why would I not? Of course I am. What? I'm going to pretend that this is like an equal... She's an adult. Not only is she an adult, she's older than me. And a professional. I'm not a professional. I'm a live streamer. She's been a part of a network, you know? I don't wear a suit to work. Or a pantsuit, I guess, for her. But...
What are we going to debate? Your positions are not consistent. So...
Okay. I am the most consistent person in the online left. I'm just like full on. Just 100. I am a goddamn rock. I'm a fucking obsidian obelisk riding tall in the middle of the field.
So am I debating the Vosh that hates trans people or the Vosh pretending to love trans people?
It really depends on the experience I've had on Twitter.com that day, okay? You have to ask me when you come into the debate. So have you tweeted something that made its way outside of your circle recently? If yes, it's the Fosh that hates trans people. It's deeply trans... Fuck.
People. I don't know who I'm debating.
What's hot right now online?
Okay, where's the money? Where's the money?
Yeah.
It's true. Fosh will just say anything. He's always saying stuff that's good for his career. He's very... If there's one thing I know about Vosh, it's that he's always on the ball when it comes to current events, and he always takes the position that gets the most people to agree with him. And then he hasn't, had like 50 conversations on, like, whether or not it's morally acceptable to genocide white South Africans to the complete detriment of my fucking career.
Oh, have I got you to talk about me? Have I got into your algorithm loop? Yahoo! Guys, there's a literal cottage industry of people.
And all jokes aside, of course, the weakest criticism that you can make of a YouTuber or like news site or the Young Turks or whatever else is you make money by talking about stuff. That's not like, yeah, no, yeah, it's our jobs. That, yeah, obviously. But
people being paid, but through the views, etc., to attack us and then pretend that they're not.
Like they're trash, exactly.
Wait, what? How am I pretending I'm not attacking them? I mean, right now I'm kind of not, because I'm not taking it too seriously, but, you know. Nice. Oh, because it's a screen recording there. That was a good meme right there. That was some good like old-fashioned VDS a little bit, you know? That was like, that's hitting the classics right there. If you're gonna go after them for old shit, go after them for Young Turks raised 4 million for Republican. No, I don't need to do it. No. That's the thing. Okay, that's the thing. That's the difference between them and me. This is why I'm big brain, high IQ, and they're small brain, low IQ, okay? Because when I have a problem with what they're doing, all I have to do is point at the specific things they're doing, and that's it. I'm not interested in proving some grand narrative about how the TYT organization as a whole has fallen apart. I don't care. To be honest with you, I don't care that much about them being ineffectual or maybe even a little corrupt. If they overall spread a good message, if they're not lying, if they promote a good set of ideas, the internal organization, the functionality of the machine is, well, it's not meaningless, but it's not my first priority. I didn't attack them based on that before, and I'm not going to now. I just have to criticize them for the stuff they're doing right now. That's why they have to flail with this, like, Vosh makes money from his streams. That's true. That's true. They got me on that one. Yeah. Good old drama. Good drama. Good drama. Love that. This is how Anna ended the show. Wait, how many clips are we going to look at here? We do have real politics to cover. Shots fired by Anna Kasparian. How long is this? This is 4 seconds long. Okay. 4-second clip. That's pretty light. I can handle that. Yeah. All right, I'm going to click the button. I had Reddit muted. I'm going to unmute Reddit. Now I'm going to click the button.
By the way, Vosh is trash.
Bye-bye.
You say.
Damn, she is mad. She's mad. Holy shit. Big mad. God damn. Damn, she's so white. She is white, but she's mostly mad. Being mad is an aracial trait. It can happen to anyone. And it has happened to many people with regards to me. How did you get under her skin like this and not Lance and Mike or Emma? What the fuck? I have a couple of guesses. One of them is that I'm larger than Lance or Mike. Well, I don't know if I'm larger than I certainly in terms of like swaying the discourse and generating attention and view count. I'm pretty influential, so that's definitely a factor there. Also, I'm much more vitriolic with my criticism, which I'm fine with. I'm okay with that. I never pretended to be civil, at least in terms of levying insults. I love insulting people. It's like my favorite thing. But I think for Anna, it's a lot more personal. I think the problem with... okay, this is just a guess, and I could be wrong. I don't want to imply that I know this for sure. But I think that Anna Kasparian has had problems with the left for a long time. I have too, by the way, to be clear. How many times have I argued with the left broadly? All the time. I think that she is intelligent, and she's had largely progressive values, but there are some bugbear issues that get under her skin, a few chips on her shoulder that have bothered her. We've talked before about the crime stuff, but I think it's a lot of stuff like that. And I've called it before, like soccer mom, like liberalism, right? White moderate syndrome. You know, it's like you're very progressive until something slightly affects you. And I think to an extent, this affects everyone. Everyone has their positions challenged by personal inconvenience. You can be principally pro housing first homeless policies all you want, but a lot of people will, when walking down the street, see a homeless person being belligerent or smelly or a nuisance, and for a second, like, you know. But for a good person, for a good political activist, that doesn't cancel out their political belief. It's a momentary challenge that can be rejected logically. Oh, a single anecdote doesn't change the math here. This doesn't change anything. You know, a single homeless person being belligerent, that doesn't alter the logic of addressing homeless issues. Some weaker people will have their mind shifted, and I think Anna is weak, or at least weaker than I am, though that's a high bar to meet. And I think that her bugbears have been growing. The chips on her shoulder have been mounting for a while. And I think that Anna saw in me somebody who might sympathize with her. Because how many times have I criticized the left on optics or on behavior? All the time. God, practically as much as I criticize the right. It happens constantly. I think she thought of me as somebody who would maybe not agree with her on everything, but I would like come on here on stream and I would go like, why are you losers getting upset over this birthing person take? I mean, okay, maybe Anna didn't phrase it perfectly or whatever, but do you really think that like the average voter is receptive to language like that or something like that? Like she expected that I would have gone that direction. Or maybe that more people would have, you know? But I didn't. Nobody did. So I think that she's quite upset over that, and I think that she might be particularly upset with me because I was maybe the largest like hinge there. I was like the kind of the largest point to teeter in either direction. That's just a guess on my part. I don't know this for sure, but I do know that when I questioned her privately on her takes on crime and recidivism, she responded earnestly with a bunch of links, articles, and arguments. Like I messaged her asking, hey, I've heard some discourse about your takes on crime. What's happening? I don't understand. And she like responded quite earnestly. I think she saw in me potentially, not a convert, but somebody who would be more charitable. And I am charitable, I think, to bad takes sometimes. Nobody's perfect, and I've had takes that I later went on to disagree with. But I will not excuse that birthing person shit. Because for me, the problem isn't a person having a bad idea. Everyone has bad ideas. The problem is people defending those bad ideas with bad logic, and that's what she did. If the outcome is bad, maybe the process can be tweaked to produce a better outcome. But if the process is bad, fuck, that's a much bigger issue. So her saying the birthing person thing was one thing, but her quadrupling down on referring to women as birthing persons betrays an underlying ideological inconsistency which would suggest no principles or at least no thought on the matter. And that's not something I respect. And I'm not going to treat that with the light touch that I would if it was simply a single errant conclusion arrived at. And that's why these things tend to happen in big waves, right? She got mad about the birthing person thing, and now she's pivoting the entire network towards the right, to the point where Cenk is saying like, yeah, we're mainstream progressives now, instead of like left progressive or whatever. Like it's that's the process being the issue. It wasn't one conclusion. It's the whole thing all of a sudden. Now she's on Adam Sid. She's politically homeless. She's getting praised by Sargon of Akkad. It's everything. And I called it, and I was right, and I'm always right. And I identified this, and I tried to reach out to her, and she wouldn't have it. And she won't talk to me because she'd lose, and that's really all there is to it. But in the meantime, you know, they accuse me of wanting to farm attention for the engagement with them. I challenge them then, don't mention me. Even if people donate a lot of money to you to get you to do so, just don't mention me. That's fine. It's not like my channel's doing poorly. I'm doing all right. Just try to ignore me. Be the adult. Be the bigger man. Don't give me the attention. It'll be okay. They will, of course. Because they get just as much attention at talking about me as I do about them. What pivot, Dino 82? New shirts? What new shirts? This isn't a new shirt. I got this from Nordstrom's like a year ago. It was overpriced, but it is a very nice t-shirt. So at least I paid a lot for something good. Yeah. Is there something on the shirt? No, it's just a plain shirt. I got linked. No, it's not a new shirt. I've been trying to get like, I I was watching a couple fashion TikTokers, and they sold to me so I want modular outfits, right? I'm trying to get more into fashion, but I don't like the idea of buying an outfit. I like the idea of buying a bunch of t-shirts, button-up shirts, jackets, jeans, shorts, like everything, and being able to mix and match, and them just generally looking good with each other. I don't like the idea of having to like pre-construct something. And I was watching some fashion TikToks, and they finally sold the idea of good fashion to me in a way that I understood, because I'm not a big color theory guy. And that was that it's tint, tone, and shade, right? You want to have a lighter and darker iteration of the same basic color, and then you want either like a black or a dark brown, or you want like a colorful thing that'll pop, like something more saturated or multicolored or whatever, an accent piece. And that's like the grounding for a lot of fashion. It's just here, like if I look up summer fashion, since we're still kind of in the summer a little bit, like if I men's summer fashion, because I know more about men's fashion than I do women's fashion, though I don't know much about either, to be fair. So okay, the problem with this is that they're all wearing two pieces rather than three. What I'm talking about is something like this, right? I think this is a good example over here on the right-hand side, where you have the blue tank top or t-shirt, I don't know which, and the green pants are like very similar tonally. They work well with each other. And then the accent piece is the vertical striped Hawaiian shirt. You know what I mean? Like that would be, for this, you could say like it's pink, black, and blue. For this, I can't see the shoes, but you know, for this, it's like that's the accent piece of the shirt, that kind of thing. Like it's like really simple, right? But like I'm not good at fashion, so that's what I'm trying to think of. And what I'm trying to find like a bunch of plain t-shirts that are still high quality that I can wear that fit my body well, because I'm tall and have broad shoulders, and I'm also not fat, but I don't have like a flat stomach. And I ordered some like sample shirts, and I also saw this. Somebody linked me this in DMs, Abercrombie and Fitch. Is this not perfect right here? Look at this. It is a cheap, high quality 10-pack of Abercrombie and Fitch t-shirts. And they're all like complementary light tones that would work perfectly when paired with like so much shit. You know what I mean? Look at that. Normie core fashion. Yeah, I'm not exactly starting from a position of expertise here. Heavy thread. I don't think these are heavy thread. I bought this exact pack and I loved it. For me, it's just about whether it fits my body type, you know, because you want good, nice fitting t-shirts. This is way too straight coded for you. No, okay, because the idea is that you have these. Oh, whoops. The idea is that you have these, but then you have like this. If it's summer and you're wearing that, and then you could wear like men's fashion shorts, and you can find something that's like a little bit more ostentatious. You know what I mean? Like, look at these zigzaggy striped shorts. Wearing that with the right shirt would be pretty cool. And that's not like normie core, because the shorts are zigzaggy, you know? Or if you want to do something with more saturated colors or whatever. I mean, there's a ton of shit you can do, right? But the idea is you want something like grounded. If you're going to wear an outfit that's loud, you can't have every piece of the outfit be loud unless you're some kind of fashion god who knows what they're doing. Like, if you're a wizard and you want to wear like 3 pieces of neon clothing, streetwear, tech wear, whatever, like, you know more than me, Godspeed. Yeah, well, good luck, okay? But I think that a good place to start is to have like, get some nice shoes, like brown, gray, white shoes, black, you know, whatever, get that. And then get some nice t-shirts. And then like, okay, what jackets or button-ups or shorts could you wear with that to make that look nicer? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Those shorts are terrible. I'm just using them as an example of an accent piece alongside a quieter t-shirt. He's wearing a white t-shirt, you know? But I would never wear a blazer with shorts. This is, especially buttoned up, this is like a particular brand of like, I don't know, douchebag that I don't want to replicate. But the point is the shorts, okay? That's the idea. That's what I'm going for right now. Streetwear or no? I don't want to wear streetwear. That's not very authentic. I can't wear streetwear. I don't leave my house. I grew up in Beverly Hills. I'm not... Is this drip? I feel like if you're a man, putting in only a little bit of effort to your outfit will make you look pretty great. I think. Like it does not take much to exceed the average outfit of a guy. They have another color of the 10-pack for the t-shirts too. Isn't that nice? See, for this one, see, they have like different tones. Is this drip? Okay. First of all, the clothes look fine, but here's something that you need to look out for, okay? If you're looking for fashion inspiration, stop looking at models. Nobody's looking at his clothes here. You're looking at his photoshopped face. Like, seriously, there's so much of this. Like, hold on. Men's fashion models. If you Google men's fashion models, you will find so many, like, okay, a lot of this is like boardwalk fashion. That's not what I'm talking about. Men's fashion. There, just men's fashion, not models. We're not doing that. Okay? Like, shit like this. You know what I mean? First of all, what the fuck is the post-processing that they've done here, okay? Second of all, like, you're just like, it's just him you're looking at. Also, this is literally the GigaChad guy, isn't it? I think these clothes look nice, but if you're selling fashion, you have to sell fashion. This is this is ridiculous. Like, all of these guys, at the center of is their face. Men's 60s fashion trends, you should... What fashion trends? This is his face. What are you talking about? Keep in mind, I Googled men's fashion, not men's models. So why are all the showcases here so... Look at this! First of all, nobody fucking dresses like this. Second of all, look at this. You're just looking at his face. Yeah, they're trying to sell you an image of wealth and success, not the actual clothes. That's my point, though. That is exactly what I am trying to say. I wish people respected, like, runway fashion more, because men should wear this. What is that? Is that a pair of basketball shorts that are, like, hanging from his turtleneck? Look at that. These are basketball shorts. Unironically, this jacket is drippy as fuck. This, like, Jackson Pollock. This is drippy as shit. Actually, the whole thing is drippy as shit. If this guy walked up towards you, you would immediately assume something life-changing is about to happen. Like, you're about to be fucking isekai'd, or like a member of a secret fucking government agency is gonna whisk you away. The gradient is exquisite. Oh no, it's beautiful, yeah. The jacket is great. It probably costs $5 billion. It's Louis Vuitton, for those curious. And here is a woman wearing it with a different outfit. I assume it's a different jacket because the fit is different, but that's the, you know. Yeah, it's ugly now. I like it more from the top. I suspect that... No, okay, wait, yeah, it's a different jacket, just similar pattern. This doesn't go down all the way, see? It's different. This does not continue all the way down to a dress. The material is different. For the love of God, stop talking about fashion. Wait, what have I said that's wrong? People always say that. It kind of discourages me from trying to learn about new stuff. If you guys only want me to talk about stuff that I know a lot about, then I don't grow as a person. I'm trying to learn more about this. I think this looks pretty good. I think this looks good from the waist up. I hate the boots. I hate the boots. But if we're just looking from the waist up, like, not the fucking superhero underwear, whatever the fuck is. This... I think this looks really good, actually. I think that this is insane. I think this looks good. Sick panty. Yeah, it's pretty weird. Here, wait. Men's fashion inspiration. Will that give better Google search results, or will it all just be like the same models? It's all the same models. Dude, no fucking wonder men are terrible at fashion. All I'm getting right now are runway models, which no human can, like, we're not doing that. Or like actual professional models wearing fairly standard men's clothing. Like, what is all this crap? Top 7 men's trends for spring 2023. No, that's not. That's not a trend that happened this spring. That didn't happen. This is not a trend that happened this spring. No. I wish. Bum 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 bum. Boom, boom. Okay, I guess they're talking about like runway models and not actual fashion. Okay, fine. New Orleans Fashion Week. What do we have? Trends in men's fashion from 2019. That's recent enough. These images are too tiny to... Yeah, this is a horribly formatted website, and I hate the person who made this. Can I get, like... Here, men's fashion inspiration. Here's how to wear bright colors in 2021. Not 2023, though. I know what you are. This is nice, actually. Wait, hold on. This is nice, actually. This is like, pale... What do they call it? Like pale wave or pale wear? Where you... Like this is, at least. Where you know, it's not just about bright colors or whatever, but it's about sort of monochromatic... expressive. Yeah, it's like pastel, what's the term? What's that Japanese pastel core, like mori, kind of the Japanese thing. I don't care as much for this personally, but these look great. This looks really good. Yeah. He really likes his hat, this like beanie, this specific beanie. Oh, here, this is the thing. Look. You have 2 complementing shades, and then you have the accent piece, see? The socks and the beanie are both like a darker blue, and the pants are a light blue, and then that gives him the freedom to wear this shirt. That's what I mean, right? Like that's like the format I mean, where you it's like a basic way of sort of managing how ostentatious your outfit. Also 3, right? White t-shirt, and then all of this is that like beige color, and then dark brown sandals. This is just two-tone. Which makes sense because it's a suit. Suits are often done two-tone, right? God damn, this person is gay. And I mean that in a complimentary way. That's quite admirable. Is there like a less gay inspo thing? Let me see. What are they selling the Stragets on? Holy shit. Is that Chad Destiny? Tell me I'm not the only person who sees it. Chadston? Nah, I think it's there. A lot of vertical stripes. What is this? Oh, ew. Okay. Has anyone ever seen this in real life? Somebody wearing a sweater over a button-up, and the button-up isn't tucked in, so you have this, like, apron flap coming out underneath. I don't like that at all. I do not like that. This is boring. Is this not boring? I feel like this is boring. I'm kind of getting bored looking at this. Really? Jeans, white t-shirt. I mean, yeah. Yeah. I'm almost done. Last article from Vogue. What's up? Okay, right off the bat, I like this a lot more because while these guys are models, they don't all look like they're in a Calvin Klein underwear ad. Like, these dudes look fucking sick, but they don't look like they're trying to assault you with their, you know, symmetrical features or cut jawline or whatever, even though they are quite attractive. I mean, this guy's incredibly attractive, in my opinion. They look really good, too. God damn. It's like a movie frame? Yeah. This right here is really good to me. This is the tritone, right? Kind of. The boots and the belt are dark brown, and the coat is brownish. And then you have like the blue and the gray here. It's not exactly what I mean, but it's like in the ballpark, right? Where you try to complement the simpler colors, and then you have something that pops more. Yeah, you have basically you have a blue half and a brown half. There are 4 like colors basically, but there are 2 color blocks that contrast. Thank you, Necro. I just want to know a little bit more about it because I mean I have the money to dress nicer than I do, and I would like to. I'd like to go out more often. Wait, is there not more of an article? Wait, is this literally just like the photo? I thought there'd be an article. Okay. Well, the picture is still really nice. So good job with the picture. I think the picture was good. What about this then? Vogue, are you going to like show just an article or okay, cool. Last one. This is the last one. What do we have going on here? I don't know what's going on the right-hand side here, but I think that the other outfits look pretty great. That's okay, so this would be, what do they call this? This would be called like maximalist styling, right? Where you don't shy away from patterns and you try to find patterns that have a general color tone that match, but like the patterns can clash. So over here you have this like fucking, you know, Versailles wall decor, and then here you have plaid, and then here you have I don't even fucking know what. Yeah, it's even if it clashes, it feels cohesive in its clashing, you know? I guess, kind of. This is too advanced for me. I couldn't pull off anything like this, even if I had the tailored clothes. This follows the pattern, right? You have white, even white on the mask, dark brown here with the shoes, and then orange, and then you have both orange and like white brown in like eggshell represented here. It kind of fits. It kind of fits. I guess like one of the big rules for fashion is that you can break the rules once you know enough about them. However, I do not approve of this rule breaking. This guy over here on the right-hand side doing the virgin shoulder shrug thing. I don't care for that personally. I'm not. He literally looks like Aquaman. Yeah, I'm not here for that. Out of all of this personally, I like this and this the most, I think. Because this looks great, right? You have the simple tones, and then you find the thing that pops. That's it, right? Like, on its own, you have, like, a white vest and a navy coat and what looks like black shoes and gray pants. And that's all, like, kind of standard, right? But then it's like, here's my cool scarf. And then with, like, one element. But in order for that to work, you have to have the discipline to make sure that the underlying outfit can support it. Because if he was like, oh, well, I'll have like a crazy vest and the scarf or whatever, then it's like, oh, okay, well, you might have overdone it a bit, you know? I don't know. Just my guess. Oh, then it's just like photos. Okay, that's enough. We've done enough. Sorry. Trying to, yeah. Rate my drip. Logical pretzels. I actually think you look pretty good. You look like you're right out of the 70s. Though I would never ever wear a hat myself. So you're braver than me for doing that. I like it. Like, unironically, I do like it. Philistines in chat will attack you for being brave. What about Tim Cool? I don't look good with a beanie. The cool thing about having a beard is that when you wear a beanie, you become the same guy as all other bearded guys with a beanie. Like, yeah, and you're now like the same dude. Where'd Vosh go? Okay, close that, close that. We gotta get a move on, folks. We got a lot to talk about. Also, stream will last for an indeterminate length of time right now, or today, because Vermin is currently getting a tattoo. And I will pick them up when they're done. It's of the kitties. Well, it's of 3 of the 4 cats. Danil is in there, because the tattoo design was planned before we even got Ruben. So Ruben will be added later. So it'll be Artemy and Pigeon and Danil. And Ruben will be added later. Beard and beanie is bald coated. That's true. And I like my hair, so I want to keep it. Oh, sure, Posada Shot. Thanks, Uwu. All right, hold on. Folks, I have some good news. You've probably heard about it, but that doesn't mean it's not worth celebrating. I am happy to inform all of you who are not yet aware that Ohio, GYAT, thank you, has actually racked up a dub, a real one. So, coming up soon, there will be, in Ohio, an attempt to vote on a constitutional amendment for the state, I mean, not for the nation, of course, to protect the right to an abortion. Now, based on all demographic projections in the highly gerrymandered state of Ohio, GYAT, it seemed very likely that that amendment would pass. But Republicans thought of a way to tip the scales in their favor with a quick, rushed-out change to Ohio's law, meaning that in the future, any state amendments would require 60 rather than 50% of the popular vote. Now, the pro-choice amendment would have almost certainly made 50%. We can't guarantee it would have made 60%. So it was vital that this disruptive anti-democratic effort by the Republicans fail. Because again, they're literally trying to pull the goalpost out from, like, this is literally like the ball has been kicked. Yoink, you know? Oh, the majority of Ohio residents want to protect the right to choose to have an abortion if they want. Well, we're just going to raise the bar so that they don't get to make that choice. It's fundamentally anti-democratic. It was incredibly cynical, and the effort to push this Issue 1, it's called, the effort to raise the threshold for voting on amendments from 50 to 60%, was heavily financed by far-right, transphobic, and out-of-state groups. Basically, tens of millions of dollars were spent on it, and they were wasted! Check it out. Ohio voted against Issue 1 by a pretty big margin, too. 57 to 43. That is a 14-point difference. Meaning that the pro-choice amendment is essentially guaranteed to go through and pass the 50% threshold. It's unimaginable that it wouldn't. I can't fathom that not happening. It's basically a done deal. They'll never put it past the Republicans to, you know, kick the rug out from under you when you least expect it. They have rejected Issue 1. And in addition to this being incredibly important for the right to choose in Ohio, it is also incredibly important for democracy itself, because this is yet another instance of Republicans desperately trying to change the rules last second to benefit them, rules that they would no doubt ignore or circumvent if they had, you know, something they wanted to get through quickly. In fact, if I remember correctly, there was actually a rule put forward that no, like, further provisions or referendums were going to be voted on in Ohio until the pro-choice one, meaning that, and that was put forward by Republicans. So they were like, okay, no more, referendums, but except for this one right here, special Issue 1, which we're going to try to use to, you know, prevent people from voting in the affirmative on the next one. Like, absolute bullshit, like just sickening scum. Let me see if I can find hold on, Issue 1 ad, because they were really throwing money at the wall here. They did this Issue 1 transphobic, yeah, there it is, from Protect Women Ohio, a very authentic and very real Ohio-based women's advocacy organization. Funded from out of state. It has nothing to do with women. Get ready for a fantastic ad, folks. Really great.
You promised you'd keep the bad guys away. Protect her. Now's your chance. Out-of-state special interests that put trans ideology in classrooms and encourage sex changes for kids are hiding behind slick ads. Don't be fooled. You can keep this madness out of Ohio classrooms. And protect your rights as a parent by voting yes on August 8th. Keep your promise. To her, vote yes on August 8th.
So again, keep in mind, issue 1 was about raising the threshold for constitutional amendment changes, and it was largely about blocking a pro-choice amendment. It has nothing to do with trans people. Literally, through explicit and implicit, like, in an interpretation, there's literally nothing. It's a complete non sequitur. Nothing whatsoever. Nothing. And they lost. This shows you how desperate the GOP is, how hard they're floundering. The abortion issue is meaningful to them because it's a carrot they can dangle in front of their voters. It's something that gets the boomers up out of bed to vote against their opposition. So what are they going to do to sell people on issue 1? Well, here's the thing, folks. If they run ads saying, vote yes on issue 1 to keep people from being able to vote on the next amendment for on pro-choice issues, that kind of gives the game away, doesn't it? Like, they can't really say that. They can't say, yeah, it's suddenly really important for us to vote yes on issue 1 because, well, we're trying to block the next amendment, you know? Like, we're purely doing this to cynically cut out the democratic process just in time to... They can't really say that. So how do you get Republicans to turn out for issue 1? Just say whatever the fuck you want, bro. Just say any old shit. Drag Queen Story Hour, yeah. Gender unicorn, whatever, bro. Yeah, man, whatever. Just throw it all at the wall, see what sticks. Just, yeah, oh, yeah, man. And it failed. Don't you think this speaks a little bit to the desperation of the GOP? I think it does, personally, because they don't really have, like, an overlying narrative anymore outside of anti-woke gender shit, right? That's it. Literally, like, that's... They've sold their entire party over to this. They don't talk economic issues. They don't even talk about immigration that much anymore. And that's like an area ripe for dog whistling. But I'll tell you why they don't talk about immigration as much, folks. Because they're banking on increased Latin support in future elections. Because that's one of the reasons why Florida and Texas have shifted the way they have. Because Latin people voted more for Trump than was expected. They've probably dialed off the anti-immigration shit, at least like a bit, at least not made it like a big national focus. Because it's almost impossible to have a national campaign of anti-Mexican immigration without also being really racist against Latin Americans. And they want to lean away from that. So they've kind of fucked themselves here, you know? And it's really, 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 really funny. Fox News hasn't mentioned Ohio GYAT once in 24 hours. Really? From Aaron Rupar, who I think we can fairly trust, mentions on Fox News primetime tonight, Ohio referendum, 0. Hunter Biden, 47. This is a huge embarrassment for them. I mean it. Like, tens of millions spent, no message except for the same template of anti-trans hysteria they've been using all over the country. It failed. I don't know, man. It's pretty funny. So, I say, let's accept the dub. Thank you, Ohio GYAT. Only in Ohio could we have gotten a 14-point no lead on issue 1. Thank you very much, GYAT. Only in Ohio, GYAT. Sussy. Amogus. GYAT. This article has a breakdown of where the issue 1 funding came from. Don't end the segment yet. Thank you for the link. I think that's a great thing to go over. Except the Dispatch is a paywall block, Dave Rubin. Can somebody fix that? Yes, there were protests against the anti-choice efforts by the GOP. Ohio is a very gerrymandered state in terms of, like, I think in terms of proportional representation, it's something like 60% of their state house is Republican and like 70% of their state house is Republican, but they're like 50-50 GOP to Democrat or something like that. Like, it's a huge disparity in terms of their system, which is why they also want to raise the bar substantially for referendums, because those would trend in our favor. I really want to see that Dispatch article, the Columbus Dispatch. Imagine being arrogant enough to paywall your local newspaper. Take a look at this distribution of the vote. New York Times is paywalled, my friend. I keep trying to figure out how to get around this, and it keeps not working. Please explain GYAT. No. Thank you, Quoteth. More than 80% of contributions to campaigns surrounding Ohio Issue 1 came from outside the state. Do you know how insane this is? For a state constitutional amendment to a change within a state for 80% of its funding to come from outside of the state? This was so obviously not about Ohio. Thank you, Yolanda Hayes. I appreciate it. I've tried tungsten. I'm lying. I haven't tried. What? This is words. Your gifted link does nothing. Words? I can't read. Yes, I have seen this, where the votes came from. The orange dots on the map represent no votes. The blue dots represent yes votes. That shows the proportional bias in every district. And as is the case for basically every thing that happens in America today, it is a rural versus city divide. See? All the big spots of no came from Cleveland, Columbus, Cincinnati, and Dayton, basically. And then every other area, except for the Cleveland broader metropolitan area, voted yes. It's crazy how quickly things changed, you know. Back when I started streaming, there was a significant contingent of white conservative voters in suburbs, upper middle class, in city areas, or at least next to them, who would tend to vote with the Republican Party on most issues. But the suburbs have grown less white pretty quickly, and the suburbs have gotten a lot bluer. Now it's pretty much just a rural versus urban divide. A lot of this is a poverty issue, but keep in mind the average wealth of a GOP voter is higher than the average wealth of a Democrat voter, because a lot of poor people in this country are in rural areas, and there are lots of, are in urban areas, and there are lots of rural black people who do not use their poverty as an excuse to vote for fascism. Thanks, black people. You're always doing so good. Thank you. Yeah, it really is mostly at this point in time an educational divide. People in rural areas are largely stupider than people who live in cities for a wide variety of reasons that tie into class, educational attainability, but a big part of it is also diversity. If you live in a city, like if you live in, I don't know, Seattle, for example, it's really difficult to be a conservative because all of their bigoted messaging falls flat because you know people from every group they mention. Mexicans? You know Mexicans. Black people? You know black people. Asians? You know Asians. Trans people? Go to Capitol Hill. Every other person there is trans. Gay people? You can't escape gay culture in Seattle. And it's all fine. It's all good. Things are good. Not perfect in Seattle. Coastal cities are shitholes of their own, but like the diversity part is good. So you can't really become a conservative. Where's that messaging going to land? How are kids going to grow up to be far right when they grow up with non-binary friends? It just doesn't math out. People in rural areas, though, a lot easier to sell on these narratives because they haven't met the people they hate. I'm not saying this is uniformly the case, but I do think this explains, for the most part, the current divide in America, the rural versus urban divide. And it's only going to grow more significant with time, because more money is being stripped from rural areas. Over time, it is getting more severe, the inequality. We'll see. Don't end the segment yet. People keep linking stuff. Yeah, I think it's interesting to compare these results to the... Oh, shit, that's the chat. To compare these results to the results of the... 2020 election, where Donald Trump got 53% of the popular vote, but on issue 1, no got 57%. It's interesting how that works, huh? Also, keep in mind, a lot of people turned out for issue 1. Altogether, about 3 million people came out, whereas for the presidential, about 6 million people came out. I know that sounds like a big difference, but the 2020 presidential election was the highest electoral turnout of any event ever, basically. And a special, like, referendum is much lower. Like, that generally has, like, a much lower level of engagement. A lot of people turned out for issue 1. A lot of people. Means a good amount of pro-choice Trump voters. Believe it or not, folks, a lot of Republicans are pro-choice. I know that sounds crazy, but polling has been done for the GOP, and something like half of Republicans think that Roe v. Wade should not have been revoked, or they thought that before it got revoked. I don't remember the exact numbers. Kansas rejected the anti-choice constitutional amendment, despite Kansas being a Republican stronghold. Things aren't looking good for the GOP. They're running out of issues to fixate on. And as a final note to this overly long segment that my editors are going to have to cut some silent bits out of, I just want to say thank you very much to every person who phone banked and canvassed with Progressive Victory. I know for a fact that you guys did a lot of good, and I got emails and DMs from people saying that while they were doing their other unaffiliated canvassing and phone banking, they ran into people from our community. That's right, people from Progressive Victory acting in Ohio, people from this community, were identifiably, recognizably being met by others who knew that they were with Progressive Victory. They were a known element, and they helped. So thank you, really. This time I'm ending the segment for good. Wait! Sorry, somebody in chat said, end the segment on this for your PV volunteers. And I thought it would be something meaningful, but it was something stupid. It was stupid, actually. I shouldn't have said wait. Ohio Republicans after Ohio votes against their attempt to subvert democracy, and it's a crying soy jack elephant. It's dumb. It's dumb. Okay, end the segment. Stop. We're not doing it again. Sorry. Okay. I'm going to hit the add button. So just wait one more time, okay? Click add. There we go. Okay. Oh, Jesus. How often do I sneeze? Ooh. Oh, okay. It means somebody talked about you? Yes. That is true. Here's a great source of inspo for colorful and gender non-conforming plus-size men's fashion. Posh Heat. Oh, that's cute. It doesn't relate to me at all, though. I'm nowhere near this gender non-conforming. In fact, I'm probably more gender conforming than a lot of straight guys are. This is great, though. These are great outfits. God damn. Looking good. Solid fits. Oh, great fits. No, for sure, for sure, for sure. Are they non-binary? I don't fucking know. Probably. He, him, they, them. Whatever. We got stuff to talk about. Ba-do-do-do-do. Ba-da-ba-ba. Boop. Savvy viewers of my content might be aware of the fact that I was Born in Beverly Hills. Why? Why was I born in Beverly Hills? Why did I start my life there? Well, the reason I started my life there is because Beverly Hills is actually right next to another neighborhood that my father worked at, Hollywood. My dad moved with my mother over to Los Angeles to work in the visual effects industry back when the visual effects industry was just starting up. I mean, I'm talking the early 90s. And I mean, it was certainly a thing by then, but it was not the well-established titan of industry that it is now. My father had some talent for it. He came over to Hollywood. He eventually, when he did well enough that he could afford the rent, he settled down in Beverly Hills so that I would grow up in a safe neighborhood with a good school district. Because again, my father moved to Los Angeles in the 90s, i.e. at the height of the crime wave. The idea of settling down in a safe neighborhood where I could walk around freely at night was something that my parents felt very important about. It was very important, and I thank them for that. My dad continued to and continues to work in the visual effects industry for my entire life, and for my entire life, because he is a good man, he's advocated for a VFX union. See, most elements of Hollywood movie production are unionized. Makeup, lighting, stunt artists, pretty much everything that goes into making a movie, they're unionized. Why, you might ask? Well, they were industries formed back in the 1910s, 20s, 30s, back before Reagan. And additionally, they were all purveyors of specialty knowledge. Imagine you're working in Hollywood back in the 1930s, and you have like a group of people in your profession who know about cinematography. Now, knowing about cinematography in the 1930s is not something you can just take a course for. You can't just go online and get like a brilliant course on cinematography. We're talking about like an elite group of highly specialized, well-trained, practically a guild in terms of their knowledge. I mean, there were like actual industry secrets. There was an incredible amount of specificity and lineage in the art form. So they were ripe for a union. I mean, could they collectively bargain? Yes. Yes, they could. Unfortunately, visual effects workers, more specifically people who work with like CGI, like computer-generated imagery, like my father, that whole thing didn't really kick up until after unions died in America. And as a product of that, and the fact that many people who work in visual effects are tech bros, not only did they not push for a union, a lot of them didn't want one. My dad, when I was growing up, my dad would always gripe with me, this frustration, because my dad isn't a tech bro. He likes technology, but he's always been a social democrat with a strong interest in art. His interest in the field is not born of some kind of distanced STEM elitism. And it's not for a lot of VFX workers, but it is certainly for some, and a lot of the people who act that way did end up finding themselves in positions of power within the VFX community. And those types of people tend to be economically libertarian. They didn't like unions. As a product of this, the history of VFX workers in Hollywood has been getting raped anally nonstop by every studio that wants to use their labor. This begins, of course, with monstrously poor working conditions, extremely short deadlines, no real engagement with or communication with people who do VFX work, therefore no understanding of how it's done or what needs to be done in order to get it done. You'd have constant problems with people fucking things up on set and trying to fix it in post, fix it in VFX. How many times have you heard that as a joke in Hollywood movies? Like, oh, we'll fix it in post? That's a problem. Like an actual problem. As in, they don't know how to work with VFX departments, so they'll do something unworkable in the cinematography, like actual shooting stage, and then they'll just toss it over to the VFX teams and say, oh, well, you fix it. You have 6 months. What? This is the problem with them not having a union. Things have gotten worse and worse and worse, and now it's gotten to the point where, as is the case with basically all industries that don't have a union, a lot of the labor is outsourced. So two particular places it gets outsourced to is Canada. Canada has a ton of young VFX workers who will just have projects sent over to them by Hollywood studios, and they'll do it for the cheap. And if I recall correctly, I think India has a lot of work in there as well. Maybe because of the Bollywood stuff. I think it's mostly Canada, I think, where this work gets done. Basically, the consequences of no union protection have led to really, really, really bad outcomes for people who work in VFX, including my father, who continues to gripe about it to this day. Folks, do I have good news for me? I don't really care if you care. Marvel VFX artists taking first step towards unionization and Hollywood strikes. That's right! After decades and decades and decades, Marvel Studios VFX workers have filed to join GYAT. You. And this is a huge step forward for VFX workers and for Marvel Studio workers to be leading the charge. I mean, that's quite meaningful because not only are Marvel Studios like the biggest studios, but also, or is the biggest studio, but also because Marvel requires so much VFX work. Like, this is what every shooting process looks like for every movie they make. All the time, nonstop. They have actors, and the actors will maybe interact with one or two set props, but for the most part, it's just them engaging with each other in a green void that they then toss over to professional artists to clean up, with essentially no job protections. Oh, did I talk about job protections? Hey, it's contract work, by the way. Like most stuff in Hollywood, VFX workers, if your VFX team gets a project to work on, you get a project to work on. If you don't, then die. Perish. Die, actually. Yeah, it's not good. Visual effects artists working for Marvel have taken the first step toward unionization in a notoriously poorly represented area of the film industry. According to a statement from the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees, a group of on-set VFX artists employed by the studio have filed a petition with the U.S.'s National Labor Relations Board. Hailing the move as, quote, a major shift in an industry that has largely remained non-union since VFX was pioneered during production of the first Star Wars film in the 1970s, the GYAT said a supermajority of Marvel's 50-plus VFX crew had signed authorization cards indicating they wish to be represented by the union, which already represents around 168,000 technicians and craftspeople in live theater, film, and TV. So you might be wondering, 50-plus VFX crew for Marvel Studios? Yeah, they contract out. But change has to start somewhere. Like, seriously, this probably represents like 2% of the total people who work on any given project, like from a VFX perspective. It's insane underrepresentation in terms of like how much work they just get from elsewhere. But, the change has to crystallize from somewhere. It doesn't instantly happen everywhere all at once. VFX Union. Oh, I should follow them. Please. Announce the formation of our union and filing for an election. Yeah, this is what all movies look like behind the scenes, by the way. See? You have a, it's so... This is supposed to be a Pegasus, by the way. So here's a bunch of dudes in green suits that are going to move the Pegasus mount up and down to simulate the movement of a horse. And then here's some dudes right back here. All of this is built in computer. Everything is built in computer. In Marvel movies, it's all built in a computer. I want you to understand what this is like for a VFX worker through an analogy. Okay? Imagine if, I'm trying to think of the best possible analogy that I can, okay? Imagine if the makeup teams in Hollywood were not unionized. They were just contract makeup artists who were just brought in, Now imagine, in addition to everything that implies and all of the poor treatment that suggests, they would engage in, basically at every systemic level, behavior that makes their job harder, Like, imagine if there were no on-site rules about, humidity or temperature control, so people's makeup was constantly running down their face, and they would constantly call these contract workers over, for no additional pay, of course, to retouch their work. And when the contract workers, the makeup artists, are like, can you turn the fucking AC on? They're like, what? Why? What? Shut up. What? You're fired. That is literally what CGI work is like, where you are a professional VFX worker, and they will just send you shots to work on where have fucked it up royally for your profession. They have made it so hard from your side of things, and they just don't care because you're just contract labor. It doesn't fucking matter, you know. The person who owns the manor does not like have his banger parties in a way which is conducive to the interests of the like barely paid help staff he hires to clean everything up afterwards. They're just like laborers to them, not artists. But the artistry you see in these films is largely an artistry of computer work. Not to say the actors don't do stuff, of course they do, but it's a collaborative process. It's ridiculous. It's sickening. Somebody in chat asked how my father feels about this and if my father is involved. No, my father does not work for the Marvel Studios VFX team, so he doesn't have anything directly to do with any of that. As for how he feels about it, let me scroll through my replies. There we go. Pray, Father. And then he said about time. So that's how he feels about it. We'll see how it turns out. If you don't care much for Hollywood or for VFX workers, I think you should, for one. But if you don't, just keep in mind that the representation of unionization in Hollywood is pivotal towards the normalization of unionization in America. Hollywood is the cultural epicenter of America. It's the loudest soapbox microphone combo. It's as out there as you can get. The more attention, the more respect, the more credence given to unionization in that field, the more it will be thought of by American workers as something worth pursuing. Imagine your average American warehouse worker or delivery driver thinking, man, if people over in Hollywood are getting screwed and they're unionizing and they're getting concessions, what could I do? Like, even if people even like that have to unionize, what about me? Well, you get me. Good hustle, team. Will this help so that AI won't take over animation? Would probably also be a good step, I'd say. You wouldn't want VFX teams to constantly cut down on the cost of labor by promising results to Hollywood studios and then working on the shots they're given with like heavy AI supplementation. That would probably not be good. I wouldn't like that. All right. I know, Valhalla. We have a lot of donos to read after we do some more politics. Politics is important, folks. You ever heard about politics? It's good stuff. Do ba-dee boop ba-da beep ba-dee boop beep ba-dee boop. Oh, did I ever get a response from that? Hold on. I think we have a couple of debates in the works, but I don't know how substantive they're... No, that's not. This poly people person who's existed at the peripheral of my attention for a while, and they called me racist, but this person's not going to debate or whatever. They're just some woke skull. They don't think. I don't think I could though. They're a bit fragile. I don't think that would. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. Brain dead clout shark. If they're a clout shark, why aren't they clamoring to come on my stream? The fear must outweigh the grift instinct. Whatever. Have you seen Second Thought is now doing the full tanky sphere spreading propaganda for the CPUSA? I did see this. Okay, so basically, Second Thought is like full on like supporting Russia in the People's War for denazification of whatever. Like he's the full on thing, you know, and he's a piece of shit for sure. But also, it's really funny that this is being done for the CPUSA because the CPUSA has advocated for voting for Biden and Hillary, if I remember correctly, and is often smeared as like a purely CIA-infiltrated communist party. You know what I mean? Like they get a rap for that, so it's kind of funny. Do we have to? Fine. I saw a bit of this. I didn't see the whole thing, but sure, it is despicable. All right. If I get bored, I'm stopping, because I've heard these talking points so many times. Viewer discretion's advised. Wait, how graphic? I haven't seen the whole thing. Wait, you're not going to show me, like, bodies from the conflict, are you? Oh, he probably is. I can't do that in a live stream. It's censored? I don't want to risk it, though. Here, let me just do the audio for a second. Keffel showed that on stream, it's fine. There aren't consistent... Hold on. Ba ba boo boo ba ba. Wah. Wah wah wah. Ba 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 ba.
In late February of 2022, Russia officially began what it has since called its special military operation in Ukraine. While this event marked a significant escalation in violence between the two countries, it was not where the conflict began. Nearly a decade ago, to the illegal dissolution of the Soviet Union to really understand the root of the problem.
Wait, what? Wait.
We'd have to go all the way back to the illegal dissolution of the Soviet Union to really understand the root of the problem. The undermining and eventual destruction of the original socialist project.
Man, we should do a fundraiser, okay? We need to ship all of these guys over to North Korea. I swear to God, I am fully a neocon on this, okay? Like, love it or leave it, all right? If you sincerely believe this shit is socialism and that liberal democracy is go to North Korea. Go to North Korea, okay? Just go over there, please. Be like that fucking U.S. soldier who recently ran across the DMZ because he didn't want to get disciplined for fighting a South Korean dude on his shore. Doesn't he actually support North Korea? Yes, he does. But they'll never actually, like... I think that for the most part, these guys know they're completely full of shit. Because we've had conversations with so many of them, and like every single time they were either insane or obviously two-faced. I think they just get so deep down the rabbit hole with the rhetoric that they don't know how to pull their heads out of it. You know what I mean? Lukewarm take, Hassan's actually... Nah, Hassan isn't a tanky. Hassan is, like, half polluted by this behavior, but it gets so much worse than Hassan. Second Thought plays it safe in the main channel. Yeah, he does. They have that shitty podcast, too. What is it called? The something something? I don't know what it's called. I want to learn about the illegal dissolution.
The brutal and sadistic economic shock therapy that followed, and the fragmenting of what had once been a strong and united people.
Soviet Union? The one where the nanosecond all of the fucking Soviet states got the chance to break, they did, and they had to invade to keep them in present, and they had to deport entire ethnic groups, millions and millions of people? Okay, yeah. Oh, man.
The moment the Second World War ended, the United States began preparing for conflict with this burgeoning new economic power. The Soviet Union was rightly seen as a shining alternative to capitalism.
Bro, it's actually worse than most tanky propaganda, because most tanky propaganda is like, you know, America is bad all the time, all over the place, and, you know, they were never given a chance to shine. But he's fully like, I, second thought, pledge all allegiance to the glorious People's Democratic Republic of North Korea. All of the revisionists and traitors who acted against the Soviet Union were simply stunned by the glory of the unity of the Soviet... Like, oh my god, dude! He's talking about this shit like it's a Marvel movie. Well, because it is. Because, like, that's fascism, right? Fascism is obsessed with a narrative. The Nazis will go on and on about the denigration of the Aryan people, the destruction of the fatherland, the betrayal of the German people by degenerates and Jews and so on. And then he here is going to go on about the glorious Soviet Union and the you know, the motherland and the beauty it represented before it was denigrated by Western. Fascism is always obsessed with a narrative. You can't have, like, analysis, because analysis tends to lead you towards a bunch of messy conclusions where you have to kind of parse together your positions based on a bunch of, like, well, that was bad, but that was bad, and this other thing was bad, and that was bad. That's not good for a fascist. Fascists can't do that, right? That's analysis, but it leads to messy conclusions, and it means you have to arrive at half answers, and sometimes you have to go, well, yeah, it could have gone this way, could have gone that way. But that's too much. So here, instead, we have to pretend that everything is part of the one glorious conflict. You know, capital O, capital G, capital C. I mean, I've seen it a million times before. We'll just finish this context section, but I find stuff like this largely very boring.
And was a ray of hope for millions of average people around the world. And...
Wait, why is he showing, like, middle-class white people? Dog, you think middle-class white people saw the Soviet Union as a beacon of hope? Why not show, like, third world people who did actually see the Soviet Union as a beacon of hope? What do you mean?
And so the United States began its long process of trying to kill this hope, drafting war plans, and even considering a preemptive nuclear strike. This is the context in which we must analyze the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Like, again, keep in mind the way that he talks about this. Like, this is the kind of shit that would be, you would get taken unseriously in, like, any real community, right? The US set out to crush this hope. Notice how he talks about American diplomats and state officials the way that Nazis talk about Jews. There's a presumption of innate evil. The idea that it couldn't just be competing geopolitical interests, because if that was the case, it would implicate the Soviets as well. The Soviets invaded people, the Soviets displaced ethnic groups, the Soviets threatened war, the Soviets engaged in mass nuclear stockpiling, but that would be like analysis, right? So instead, he's doing essentially, not even essentially, he's actually doing it perfectly. They hate us for our freedoms. The idea that the people you're fighting against are fundamentally evil because they're embittered by your superiority. It's like the apex of American supremacist rhetoric in the modern world. The idea that the hatred directed against you has to be because they can't stand to see what you have. Obviously, this is exclusively fascist framing. There is no way to do this without doing the fascism. It is incompatible with leftist analysis.
What tends to get lost in mainstream coverage of this war, or any conflict that benefits the imperialist powers, is the human cost of war. Those who sign the papers and make the decrees that send entire generations into the meat grinder will never hold a gun themselves. They'll never lose a child to geopolitical jockeying.
That's true. Wait, is that the end of the context section? Yep, and there I am on board now. As opposed, of course, to all of the people in the Kremlin and all the people in the Soviet premier cabinet who definitely fought in Afghanistan directly. Nothing of value was said. Well, no, of course not. I think that second thought might be far gone enough that if I asked him to defend the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, I think he would. I think he actually would go, like, yeah, they had no choice but to protect the People's Revolution in Afghanistan by going in there and propping up a better leader. You know, their occupation was necessary. I actually think he would. Yeah, fully, yeah. He would defend the invasion of Czechoslovakia in 1968, or Hungary, yeah. Why do smart people do this, though? Well, first of all, I question the idea that Second Thought is smart. The videos that he's put out have, at their best, been nothing more than a slickly delivered expression of basic progressive values. I wouldn't say there was any high-level thinking going on there. He does tend to bloviate and preach. He might be smart. I just don't know if he is. But secondly, being smart doesn't protect you from propaganda. You know that whole "you are not immune to propaganda" thing? You can be as smart as you want, but that doesn't mean that you are not susceptible to these narratives. It reminds me a little bit of the psychological tests that were done of the Nazi leadership who were captured for the Nuremberg trials. People thought, you know, how could the Nazis have done all this evil crap? There must be something wrong with their brain. Well, there was, but it wasn't the kind of evil that you detect with psychiatric tests, you know? It's not, the evil isn't sociopathy. The evil is evil. They arrived at incorrect ethical conclusions based on environmental and social cues and information. It wasn't a product of them having like a portion of their brain missing, like a lot of people thought. You know, they thought, well, who could have done the Holocaust? Only a person with a different brain. Not so. A person with the same brain, given the wrong information, can do anything, literally anything. Whether you're smart or unintelligent, it's about the environment, you know? My immediate impression of Second Thought is that he's weak-willed and soy. My guess is that he probably has a mixed past himself when it comes to his degree of progressivism, and that he started by overcompensating, listening to the right voices to get back on track. And a lot of them pulled him in good directions, and some pulled him in bad directions. But the kinds of people who will pull you in bad directions by relying on your susceptibility to messaging from minority communities are usually a lot more conniving with it. And so he's been pulled further and further along this track, and now presumably because he's been spending a lot of time with Hakim, an Iraqi fascist who thinks that every Kurdish woman should be raped to death. I assume he believes this. I don't know he does, but I assume he does. And other figures of about that level of moral quality. He said some fucked up stuff about the Kurds, man, okay? That's not fully out of hat, all right? You would make the same jokes about somebody who made flippant comments about, like, other ethnic groups, the way that he has about Kurds. Also, it's not as though it'd be the first person in Iraq to be anti-Kurdish. Anyway, he's probably overcompensated, and now he's just an empty mouthpiece for the most radical people that he listens to. Which is soy. When did he make those jokes? He didn't joke. I think he's... What, guys, what exactly did he say about it? I'm forgetting the exact details. Kurdistan? Hakim Kurdistan. I just looked up his breadtube.fandom.com, and in the controversy section, it said, Hakim admitted to watching Luis Farrakhan. He later confirmed he didn't know about Farrakhan's anti-Semitism or other reactionary tendencies. Have you listened to him talk? What? Sorry. What? How do you... Okay. Where... Does anyone remember the exact details of what he said? I typed in Hakim Kurdistan, and the autocorrect was Kim Kardashian. So Google is not being very helpful to me right now. Is this it? Oh, okay. His comments were about the Anfal campaign. So this was when Saddam Hussein attempted to kill an enormous number of Kurds during the Iran-Iraq war. This was when he chemically bombed Kurdish neighborhoods. How many Kurdish people died? Hold on. During this, between 50 and 100,000 deaths, which isn't good. And then somebody asked Hakim, what are your thoughts on the Anfal genocide, Hakim? And he responds, there was no genocide. In the middle of a war, a rebel group starts a guerrilla war on the home front. So the Kurdish people were monstrously oppressed under Saddam Hussein's regime, and the Iranians promised the Kurds a better life if Iran controlled Iraq. So some Kurdish people began an insurgency campaign, and in response, Saddam Hussein chemically bombed entire Kurdish neighborhoods, which is definitionally a genocide. It was literally an attempt to exterminate an entire ethnic group because some members of that group were rightfully, by the way, fighting against, yeah. Not only this, but they allied with the enemy. They were dealt with harshly, as you may expect, because it was literally wartime. Hey, listen, okay? I bet you that, this is like defending the Japanese internment camps because some Japanese people did Pearl Harbor, except instead of doing concentration camps, we just killed all of them. Like, he's defending that equivalent. To understand what this would be like in America, it would be like if we had killed 100,000 Japanese people in the West Coast. And he was like, it was wartime. Also, they were allied with the Japanese government. Like that, it's literally that. Any other country would have done the same, and historically has done the same. That's not true. As for the death toll, it's so widely exaggerated, it's staggering. Hakeem says ovens can't bake that quickly. I still remember when Kurds used to claim 10,000 victims. Oh, those lying Kurds always exaggerating the And that number shot up to 200,000 or even 500,000 in the past 15 years. Finally, al-Majid was acting against explicit orders of the Revolutionary Council and was punished for doing... Right, yeah. So he is a Kurdish nationalist fascist. If Hakeem ever says anything that sounds leftist, it's because he doesn't like America. That's it. It's literally that. Like, so many people online LARP as lefties. They don't have a single progressive bone in their body. They just don't like America. That's it. Iraqi nationalist anti-Kurd. Sorry, my apologies. Also, he's probably salty that America, like, completely fucking cucked this country with no effort whatsoever. First Gulf War, Iraq invasion, and now Iraq has, like, no geopolitical autonomy and is heavily controlled by Iran. The Hakeem leaks? Oh, shit, there's more? Oh, no. The Kurds, the most incredibly reactionary group in the region, compared to Saddam Hussein's Ba'athist Party and the Iranian ultra-theocratic, arguably the most religious and most socially progressive. Guys, the only independent Kurdish government in the Middle East is Rojava, the only anarchist community that operates at a large scale on Earth right now. Many Kurds are not only progressive by the standards of Middle Eastern politics, they're progressive by the standard of, like, global Western politics. They fucking killed anarchists? Oh, well, Hakeem would gladly rape and kill anarchists, 100%. Because, again, he's an Iraqi fascist. The reason he doesn't like anarchists... So, the reason why he claims to support, for example, like tanky or like communist regimes, is because communist regimes have killed anarchists too. All of his political beliefs are centered around fascist Iraqi nationalism. It's always like this. Every time. Literally, every time it's never not like this. The Turkish Greens are literally the Progressive Kurdish Party. Yeah, no, he just doesn't like them. They're the Jews to him. It's the same. It literally is the same. It's 1-to-1. It's the same brain pattern. 1-to-1. They are the Jews to him. Right down to the denial of genocide, the saying that the number of deaths was exaggerated, that they were justified even if they were exaggerated, and also that they lie about how many there are. What's your take on the Uyghur genocide? Oh, yeah, he doesn't believe it happened. But keep in mind, the Uyghur genocide was a cultural genocide. The Anfal genocide was an actual bombing them with gas genocide, war crime genocide, you know? Thanks, comrade. I'm a fan of the Ottoman Empire generally. Leftist, by the way. Leftist, by the way. Leftist, by the way. Ottoman Empire. Why? Because he's an Iraqi nationalist fascist. What do fascists do? They hearken to the glory of the empire. Very leftist, yes. What does he think imperialism is? He's fine with imperialism as long as it's not America doing it. Because America did imperialism to Iraq. I guarantee you that if the only thing America had ever done in the Middle East was to Iran, he would think that America was actually like kind of based. Just a reminder that everybody who talks shit about me is projecting. I'm the best person in the world, and everyone who dislikes me is a Nazi. But unironically. What is this one? It's pretty small. What about the Halabja chemical attack? What do you think of it? Hold on. That's also part of the Anfal genocide, right? Let's see. Halabja massacre, also known as the Halabja chemical attack, a massacre of Kurdish people that took place on the 16th of March 1988 during the closing days of the Iran-Iraq War in Halabja, Iraq. Part of the Anfal campaign, as well as part of the Iraqi army's attempt to repel the Iranian Operation Zafar 7, took place. Mustard gas was used in the attack, along with unidentified nerve agents, killing between 3,200 and 5,000 civilians and injuring 7,000 to 10,000 more, most of them civilians. Preliminary results from surveys showed an increase in rates of cancer and birth defects in the years afterwards. The Halabja attack has been officially defined as a genocidal massacre against the Kurdish people in Iraq under Saddam Hussein by the Supreme Iraqi Criminal Tribunal. I guarantee you that Hakim would argue the Supreme Iraqi Criminal Tribunal is like a cucked organization that operates under U.S. hegemony and like is self-deprecating as a way of denigrating the Iraq's legacy under Saddam Hussein. So let's see how he feels about the chemical weapons murder of 3,000 to 5,000 civilians and injury of 7,000 to 10,000 more. Similar views. There is even eyewitness account stating it was part of an Iranian attack, not Iraq. Actually, the British snuck in and did Auschwitz. Why would the Iranians use chemical weapons on the Kurds? What fucking sense does that make? In the middle of a So notice like how with Holocaust deniers, he has every position at once. Iraq was justified in the Anfal genocide. The numbers are exaggerated. Every other country every other country would do the same. But also, it was a false flag. I bet Iran actually did it. Literally just a Nazi. Yeah. He has every position about it simultaneously. Yeah, it was a false flag, but it was good that it happened, and the numbers were exaggerated, even though it was Iran that did it. Yeah. The deprogrammed subreddit has the Vosh facts bot. Yeah, of course. You think people like this want their followers listening to me? This is why they don't talk to me. This is why Hakim backed out of another conversation with me. Every time it's the same thing. They don't want them to be exposed to what I have to say. They're pussies, and Hakim is smart enough to know that it wouldn't go well for him. He backed off on it a lot the first time he talked to me, but I didn't know about all this. I would have talked to him about this. Regardless, the fog of war muddles it all up, even though it's been found by the Iraqi tribunal to have been a war crime under Saddam Hussein. It happened regardless, and it's a shame. But also, it's good to remember far more Iranians and Iraqis were gassed too. Strange to highlight one incident during the war, but not dozens upon dozens of other ones. What? Hey, how do you feel about this one attack? I think it's weird for you to focus on the chemical weapons attack against the Kurdish people, which we didn't do, but we might have done, which anyone else would have done, which was justified if we did it, but also the numbers were exaggerated, and those darn duplicitous Kurds are always lying about the numbers. But anyway, why don't we talk about the other things that happened, you know? What about Yugopnik? Does he have done takes? He's a Serb, I think. Well, he's a Serb. Yugopnik's actually been decent to me when talking, like, directly to me. I wonder if we could talk with him sometime. He hasn't said anywhere near as stupid of shit as Hakim and Second Thought have, I think. It might be fun to talk to him, yeah. Yeah, I think Yugopnik is probably the most level-headed of the options before us at the moment. Why do we get on this? Oh, right. So does everyone now understand why I said that Hakeem fantasizes about raping Kurdish women to death? Have I substantiated that now that we have assessed the fact that he essentially has identical position to Nazis on... Yeah, okay, right, okay. Wonderful. Happy to substantiate that. Okay. We already went over that, Thespian. I'm incorporating that into my worldview. Fuck. I love being American so much. If I was British, I couldn't say shit like that. Because they have, like, no free speech, 1984. Oceania shit. Over here in America, I can say that. I love that. I can say totally true statements. Yeah, extraordinary claims need extraordinary evidence. Let me just go over this archive of Nazi posting from Hakeem. Here, wait, hold on. Maybe if I do this now, if I try to do stuff like this, like, immediately, I won't forget as easily. You go up, Nick. No, I missed the O there. You go up, Nick. Did I spell that right? There we go. Yeah, we're still Umphys. Wait, hold on. Oh, fuck, guys. I'm sorry. I was the fault. A year and a half ago, I left him on red. I didn't respond. My bad. Here, let's fix that now. Hey. Was reminded of you and the fact that we hadn't spoken yet while engaging in wacky stream hijinks. Semicolon. Would you be interested in coming on stream sometime in the near future? No need for it to be a debate. I just remembered we hadn't talked and I would like to! Exclamation point. Okay. When I say it doesn't need to be a debate, I always mean that, by the way. Sometimes I say that and then it turns into a debate anyway, but that's always because the person didn't say, yeah, it can't be a debate or whatever. But I do mean it when I offer that. I don't think there's anything wrong with just wanting to talk to me and not wanting to have like a huge back and forth in every disagreement. You fucked up, he's insane to your take. Oh, he's saying if you think that Taiwan should be independent, then why won't you treat the DNR and LNR as independent? Well, yeah, I think that's pretty dumb, but I can talk about it with him. Also, note how, even though I think his take is bad here, he's, like, talking about it. Whereas if this was Hakeem, it would be him frothing at the mouth about raping a Kurdish woman to death, right? Like, there's a slight rhetorical difference in how they present this, which makes me think I could have more of a conversation with him. Yeah. Hakeem would have been, yeah, but apply that logic in reverse, and you'd have to treat raping Kurdish women to death as morally wrong. When, as we all know, of course, it's actually not wrong. I've read this text from Saddam Hussein, and it's very clear in the issue of the Kurds. All right, Quoteth, hold your horses. Let it bear out. Isn't it interesting how fascists and tankies are so fucking weaselly? I don't even like the distinction anymore. I just call tankies fat. They are. I've spent my whole YouTube career substantiating this, you know? People are so used to fascism from a Western white perspective that they don't recognize it from other perspectives. But go look at the rhetoric of fascists from, like, any country, and you will get insincere denunciations of foreign influence and imperialism, you know, this like a geopolitical worldview which involves a critical analysis of class differences as a way of denouncing other nations, but you ignore it when applied internally, right? Like, tankies are well and happy to decry income inequality in the States, but talk about income inequality in the Soviet Union, and all of a sudden it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Like, it's the same basic thing, you know? The only thing they can be apart from fascist, really, is like hyper-nationalist for a certain country. I think Luna Oi is like this. I think that Luna Oi would defend anything the Vietnamese government did. I think that if the Vietnamese government, for example, killed her grandparents, I think she would defend it. I think... Fuck me, dude. Sorry, the joke is that happened. That happened. That wasn't a joke. That's why I'm laughing. Yeah. Not killed, tortured? Oh, they were just tortured, not killed? Sorry, my apologies. Did you ever see she was hanging out with anti-LGBT groups in Vietnam? Yeah, I saw that. She was like, she had like a dinner or something, or she was photographed with. It was like her equivalent of that one picture of, was it Contra or Shu? Who was with like a bunch of conservatives in 2017. I don't remember what it was like. She was photographed with some very not leftist people. And whenever there are like queer movements in Vietnam she doesn't like, she's like, oh, they're a color revolution, you know? Like, yeah, the West is... The CIA is trying to force gay people onto Vietnam. You'll notice, by the way, that framing is an explicitly fascist one, because only a fascist would believe that, because that's the globo homo conspiracy theory. The idea that the State Department is interested in making people around the world gay? Why? Why would you think they're doing that? What possible motivation could you have for that belief outside of just thinking that they're spreading degeneracy for the evil of it with all of the nuance and subtlety that the Nazis felt Judeo-Bolshevism was all about? It's the same argument. Man. Everyone is bad but me. So comforting. So comforting. Yeah, black separatists do try to do the same with race mixing. They say that, yeah. Like how there were a weird number of like third worldist anti-American tankies who are being defensive about Uganda's kill the gays law because it's Western imperialism to not want gay people to all be executed in another country. Rip, Alec. Uganda isn't even leftist? Not even remotely. Fuck, man. I keep saying that I'm going to talk about men, and then I keep feeling like I don't want to. I keep, I feel like I'm waiting for inspiration to strike on that particular subject. I keep putting it in the title, but I put it in the title the previous night. There's something... Yeah, I don't want to force it. There's something I have to hit on here. Do you think self-determination is a bad type of nationalism? The right to self-determination is almost always a dog whistle. Usually when people say it, they mean racial self-determination, by which they mean they want an ethno-state. If you mean literally like a nation state having autonomy, that's good, right? Insofar as it's representative of the interests of the people within the nation state. But if it's not a democratic country, then that doesn't mean anything. A nation isn't self-determinate if it's a dictatorship because the people of that nation don't have anything to do with the decisions made. So at that point, you're really just opposing the decisions of people up on top, right? But even if a nation is ruled by a dictator, you can still control it in a way that's bad for the people within it. Like when we ousted Saddam Hussein, right? Like Saddam Hussein was a dictator and we killed him. And it's not as though our stewardship of Iraq was like perfect and great for all the people, not even close, right? So I think that we shouldn't focus so much on self-determination as we should democracy, because that way we're honing in on the correct expression of a national will, you know? And then you have to argue, well, is the thing people democratically want good? Because democratically voting for like genocide doesn't mean genocide is good, right? So it's like a multi-tiered thing, basically. What do you want to talk about, men? I want to talk about men. Wait, genuine question, but did we prop up Saddam as well? Yes, we did. We did a lot. We propped up Saddam and gave him arms and support, and I believe a French company, even during the Iran-Iraq war, gave him equipment to make a nuclear program. And this was because we were terrified of the Iranian revolution spreading in the Iran-Iraq war. We supported Iraq. Even though, let's be fair here, Iran was the good guy in that war. Like, it's two kinds of evil. On the Iraq side of things, Saddam was a fascist ultranationalist who genocided the Kurds, or at least attempted to, and was monstrous to his people. Iran was a terrifying theocracy that engaged in human wave tactics. Basically, the Iranian strategy for winning the war was, what if we took, like, 500,000 of the most zealous 14-year-old boys you've ever seen in your life and cleared minefields and gas, like, bombs with them? You know, what if we literally just paved a road of blood from our country to theirs? I'm not kidding. I'm not like what? Okay, I'm not kidding about the human wave tactics thing. By the way, literally, like there would be like, I don't know, the Muslim preachers like screaming about glorious sacrifice and how like the road to Allah is built on martyrdom, and they would get like kids out there to just die in mass when like enormous, like ungodly amounts of suffering for every foot of ground gained. Though to be fair, Iraq was the one that started the war, so that was more Iran's only hope at winning, because Iraq was both better armed and better funded and had the support implicitly of Western powers, whereas Iran didn't. So you could argue that that was their only shot at winning, but holy shit, at what cost? Jesus. Yeah. Here it is, Operation Ramadan. Oh, yeah. An Iranian offensive in the Iran-Iraq war that consisted of 3 separate attacks that lasted for 6 weeks. It was launched by Iran in 1982 near Basra and featured the use of human wave attacks in the largest land battle since World War II. People, we don't even learn about this in school. I didn't learn about this in school, even though America like directly involved ourselves in it. And then we have the Iraq and the Iran side. 5,000 killed on the Iraq side, 12,000 killed on the Iran side. Iran was winning this conflict for a long time, but things eventually leveled out. According to scholar Rob Johnson, quote, Operation Ramadan was by any standard a criminal failure of leadership and strategy. This one in general boosted the casualty limit up to 80,000 killed, 200,000 wounded, and 45,000 made prisoner of war. Jesus. What was the U.S.'s reason for overthrowing Saddam if we put him up? He kept stirring the pot over there. The first Gulf War was because he invaded Kuwait, at which we didn't like because it destabilized the global oil economy. The second Iraq War, I'm pretty sure, was just because George Jr. didn't like the fact that his father's work wasn't finished. Literally. People say we invaded Iraq for the oil, but I don't actually think that's why. I think that there was a broader interest in having like a pet dictatorship in Iraq that would control like local oil control, but I think a lot of it was genuinely just 9/11 happened, why not take advantage of the bloodthirstiness of the American people to just do a little bit of cleanup work and finish my father's legacy. I genuinely think that's like a big part of it. kids would be sent in to deliberately move through minefields to clear them and allow armor to advance. Yeah, wasn't there a thing where, like, Iran would send actual children forward because they wanted to get kids light enough that they wouldn't trigger the landmines? Like, some of the landmines were crude ones that were activated by a weight threshold. So they were like, if we send kids, they will be light enough that they'll be able to get the landmines without, like, tripping them. I don't think that worked. I don't know if that worked. Ugh. Like AT mines, and some worse anti-personnel mines, but I don't think it worked. Yep. Yeah, I mean, they were all told that, like, martyrdom is a core component of the path to you know, to glory to Allah. So young boys aged 12 to 17 wore red headbands with the words Sar Allah in Farsi, warriors of God, and small metal keys the Ayatollah declared were their tickets to paradise if they were martyred in their mission. Many were sent into battle against Iraqi tanks without any protection and bound by ropes to prevent desertion. So they were literally, like, chained, like, slave-tied, so not one of them could, like, flee. So they would all have to run forward with the mass of the children. They were the first wave, making the way for Iranian tanks by clearing barbed wire and minefields with their bodies. Also, to be clear, we did this. Iraq's confidence and means in fighting Iran were heavily supported by the fact that we were helping them. Iran went to the United Nations and pleaded for international support against Iraq. But guess who's on the Security Council? Us. And we didn't want to acknowledge the war crimes because we, despite the fact that we were, like, directly aiding and abetting and supporting and were fully aware of them, we did not want the Iranian Revolution to spread. We wanted Iraq to conquer Iran. So we shut it down. Not just us, but we were the largest factor in that, yeah. The Soviets and the US both helped Iraq. Yeah, we were more active with it, but the Soviets turned from Iran to Iraq as well, because the Iranian Revolutionary Guard were anti-Soviet, because they were Islamic hardliners. They weren't like, yeah. Didn't the Soviets back Saddam at times? Yes. Though I think we were a longer-term supporter of Saddam. Because we lasted longer. And then when the Gulf War happened, we were so pally with Saddam, we didn't even oust him. You know? We let Saddam stay after the Gulf War. When, in fairness, like, basically nothing could have been done to Saddam's body that would have been morally unjustified at that point. Saddam Hussein was one... Like, Saddam should have been killed in the Gulf War. Hard to imagine somebody, like, worse replacing him. And we'd already invaded, right? Yeah, Red Cascadian, but not supporting Iraq. I don't think it would have been good to support Iran. It's not like Iran are the good guys here. But holy shit, nobody made the Soviets and America support Iraq. Jesus Christ. Yeah, but we could have done it during the Gulf War, Dream Canoe. Wouldn't have been difficult. The Gulf War wasn't exactly inefficiently handled. Iraq also used chemical weapons on their own people when Iran captured towns and cities. Yes, Hakeem supports this. Hakeem pressed that button, yeah. Hakeem was around, then he pressed the big red button that gas-bombed Kurdish neighborhoods, yeah. We couldn't find him, he was in the cylinder, yeah. Happy 4th of July to the only superpower in the world. Oh yeah, just the fucking The the Gulf War, dude. Fuck. Close your eyes if you are Russian. Was the Gulf War even remotely justified? I think you could fairly argue that at least some version of the Gulf War was justified. Intervention to protect Kuwait 100% was, but arguably the only way to do that was kicking Iraq's military in the chest. So we watched a video on this on stream from, I think it's called like the War Room or the Military Room or something, but the invasion of Iraq during the Gulf War might be in history the most systemic and one-sided military beatdown ever. It was like, there were like generals with their pocket watches calculating down to like the minute, like this battalion's moving this way and it's going to coordinate this and this and that. And then like, it's just a fucking rout, you know, like not even close. The operations room, that's it, yeah. Yeah, the land invasion lasted like a week. That's why it's so funny that people pretend Russia's a superpower when they, you know, have barely held a portion of Ukraine and it's been nearly 2 years now. Whereas you know, America and joint forces were able to delete Iraq in no time. Do we know why the U.S. is so militarily proficient and every other superpower isn't? There is no other superpower. And we've had our fuck-ups too, right? The goal to a successful military campaign is good planning, overwhelming numbers, and a strong goal. What do we do in Vietnam? No strong goal. Fuck you. Gulf War, though, that's easy. We had overwhelming numbers, we knew exactly what we wanted to do, and we had a good line of logistics and communication that allowed our leaders to effectively manage their shit. Every time Russia has failed, it's been on these fronts. With the exception of overwhelming numbers, Russia does have more soldiers than Ukraine does, even if they have to keep mobilizing. Also, we're very wealthy. Also, at the time, the Iraqi army was like the 5th largest and well-funded in the world. Yeah, do you feel a bit bad? Because, like, I feel like a lot of people in the Iraqi army at the time just had no fucking idea what was coming for them because they knew that they had a relatively very well-trained, well-funded, large military. And they were like, you know, yeah, America's bad and all. I mean, you know, America's really strong, but they're also from the other side of the world, and they're going to be taking us on in our territory in the deserts of Iraq, you know? I think they're going to get fucked up. And then just getting wiped out. Just... They didn't have a well-trained army. Good gear, but shit. Okay, sorry, I'm wrong on that. Good gear, shit training. What are we talking about all this for? Oh, right! This is why Hakeem is so fucking mad, because we did this to them. Okay, guys, do you want to see what a one-sided military engagement looks like? Okay, you're not going to believe what the ratio is. Do you want to see what a ratio looks like? Okay? All right. From the Iraqi side in the Gulf War, 20 to 50,000 killed, 75,000 plus wounded, 80,000 to 175,000 captured. 3.3K tanks destroyed, 2.1K APCs destroyed, 2.2K artillery pieces destroyed, aircraft, ships, and so on. Coalition deaths, 292. Only half of which were done by enemy action. Half were done by non-hostile death. Accident, suicide, that sort of thing. So few people died that they can split it in half by including the accidents. People, friendly fire, people tripped in front of Abrams. 776 wounded, of which 2/3 were wounded in action. That's a ratio. That's how bad it was. I mean, to put it another way, for every... Just taking the median numbers here, right? For every kill, wounded, or captured from the Iraq side, for every one of those, we're talking 1/1000th of a death, something like that. Like, effectively, for every one coalition soldier who died, 1,000 Iraqis were killed, wounded, or captured. There, something like that. Yeah, I don't want to do the specific math. Yeah, just. Basically, all of our losses were from friendly fire from the Warthog. The fucking A-10, man. The true tool of the anti-imperialist for all of the... It's 100 to 1, even the... Yeah, if you include the wounded, it would be like 1,000 up against like 200. So it'd be like 200 to every one if you include injuries. Vosh, the U.S. supported both sides in Iran-Iraq war, you goober. We were overwhelmingly siding with Iraq. I think at some point there was one element of support to Iran, but like it was not like an equivalent. The United States sold Iraq. Okay, here we go. International aid to combatants in the Iran-Iraq war. Here. Okay. For Iran, military support backed by the Kurdish parties of the KDP and PUK. Logistics support. Syria and Libya. Weapons from North Korea and the People's Republic of China. And acquired arms from Portugal. The U.S. also provided covert support for Iran through Israel, though it's debated as to whether or not President Ronald Reagan ordered the sales of weapons to Iran. Most of the support included TOW missiles. And then over on the Iraq side, primarily equipped with weaponry it had previously purchased from the Soviet Union, during the war it purchased billions of dollars worth of advanced equipment from France, the People's Republic of China, Egypt, Germany, and other sources. Iraq's three main suppliers of weapons during the war were the Soviet Union, followed by the China, then the France. The United States sold Iraq over $200 million in helicopters, which were used by the Iraqi military during the war. These were the only direct U.S.-Iraqi military sales. At the same time, the U.S. provided substantial covert support for Saddam Hussein. The CIA directed non-U.S. origin hardware to Saddam Hussein's armed forces, quote, to ensure Iraq had sufficient military weapons, ammunition, and vehicles to avoid losing the Iran-Iraq war. And dual-use technology was transferred from the U.S. to Iraq. West Germany and the United Kingdom also provided dual-use technology that allowed Iraq to expand its missile program and radar defenses. According to an uncensored copy of Iraq's 11,000-page declaration to the UN, leaked to Dietes Germany shit, whatever, the know-how and material for developing unconventional weapons were obtained from 150 foreign companies from countries such as West Germany, the US, France, UK, and China. These include nuclear stuff, by the way. The main financial backers were Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates. The GYAT scandal revealed that a branch of Italy's largest bank in Atlanta, U.S., relying largely on U.S. taxpayer-guaranteed loans, funneled $5 billion to Iraq from 1985 to 1989. So I'm not saying that the Iran scandal didn't happen. I'm just saying, like, overwhelmingly. Honestly, it wasn't just the U.S., it was the world, but I'm going to blame the U.S. anyway because we were the largest trendsetter in Western behavior, and the West really leaned into supporting Iraq. So, yeah. Sorry, this has all been a bit tangential, but I do feel it's important to talk about this. Where's the source for that nuclear thing? This is chemical weapons. Guys, I'm aware of the Iran-Contra affair. I'm not saying that didn't happen. I'm saying that America wanted Iraq to win. Like I'm not saying that did not take place, but like overwhelmingly, if you look at the totality of evidence, it's pretty clear where we were leaning. Did they mention the nuclear stuff here? Huh? Why is the nuclear section completely empty? They don't want you to know this, folks. Kissinger is quoted as saying, it's a shame both sides can't lose, but yeah, they preferred Iran. You mean they preferred Iraq? Yes. They didn't like Iraq because Saddam Hussein is a piece of shit and difficult to control. They didn't like Iran because Iran potentially represented like a Middle Eastern-wide Islamic revolution, which would have made them very difficult to control. Was that a major headline with minor headings below it? I don't believe so, no. It was a subsection. Do you support U.S. intervention in Iraq? Well, like I said, I think that at least a version of the Gulf War was justified, sure. At the very least, to protect Kuwait. But the second Iraq War, like the Iraq War in 2003, no, of course not. Guys, I know that, like, there are a lot of bad folks in the world, but it is incredible how much better it would be in terms of, like, supporting the people of these countries to not invade them and instead offer large amounts of logistical and economic support to nation building on the condition that they fulfill certain requirements for democratization and human rights. That's not a perfect system, but it's better than invading by like a lot, you know? People get so offended when it's like, oh, we spent 100 million propping up this dictator and we barely got any concessions for it. Would have been better if we spent 100 billion invading, killed a bunch of them, and then nothing changed. Like, look, it's like what happened at Afghanistan, right? You know? Isn't that the fake promise the IMF makes, though? I'm not saying we loan anything. I'm not saying that we offer loans. I mean, literally, like, if you want this support, you have to do this. We could do that with Israel and with Saudi Arabia. We just don't. All we would have to do is make aid to Israel contingent upon detente with Gaza and like you know, opening up the area, restricting or reducing the restrictions in their water rights, all that crap. We won't do it. Same with Saudi Arabia. Should we provide more aid to the Kurds as well? Yes, absolutely. Also, kick Turkey out of NATO while we're at it. Fuck them. You think the Ayatollah is waiting to enter such deals? Not Iran, but it could have been done with Iraq. Yeah. 100% it could have been done with Iraq, even during Saddam's days. Also, to an extent, it could be done with Iran as well today. Like, we're really not doing ourselves any favors by giving the Ayatollah such an easy, like, you know, sacrificial lamb for all the problems in the world, right? The Iranian regime is monstrous. And most of the time, like, they defend their existence on the idea that only they can stop the American devils from intervening, as we have before, by the way, multiple times, to be fair. I think that if we were a lot more open with them, it would be harder for them to get away with that propaganda. Keep in mind that the difference between Iran and, say, Afghanistan is that Iran is a real country. Like, people tend to lump all these together, where they're like Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan. To be clear, Afghanistan is not a real country. It is a shithole. Iraq is marginally better. Iran is an actual fucking country. Iran is like a real, actual country. When you think country in your head, Iran is a country. Saudi Arabia is 10% a country and 90% completely useless, uninhabitable desert. Like, there's a big difference here, you know? There is room for more engagement with Iran. Yeah, well, politically, Iran is horrible, Rainbow, for sure. I mean, in terms of, like, development. Yes, Iran is going to be building nukes soon, or might already have nukes in production. We'll see. And Israel would probably threaten to invade. Israel couldn't invade Iran, though. Nobody can really invade Iran. It's not an invadable country. I guess we'll see how that goes. Also, Iran has been building its nuclear facilities under like 5 billion miles of mountain. I don't know how much Israel can really do there. Do you support Iran getting nukes? No. Okay, guys, let's be clear here. It's not like I trust a lot of countries that have nukes, like Israel. The problem is that the Iranian regime is a theocratic one that is explicitly built on the doctrine that sacrifice and martyrdom are paths to Allah. Remember what they did in the Iran-Iraq war? That's the last group of people that I want having a nuclear weapon, okay? Like, by a long shot. The last people who should have nuclear weapons are people who think that part of their religion is dying in martyrdom, okay? That's the last group I want. So if Israel did strike their facilities and prevent them from making that crap, then I guess I would prefer that to them not, because I really, really don't want them to have nukes. But what I would really like would be for a, you know, broader Western effort to ease relations with Iran to emerge so that maybe they can have an internal revolution where the leadership can be democratically representative of the Iranian people and it not just be like an insane Ayatollah who is like not even that beloved by his people, maybe. Mutually assured destruction doesn't work when half of the side is okay with dying. Yeah. Perhaps we could have made some deal focusing on the nuclear program. Yes, if only there was some kind of deal we could strike in order to curtail and ensure supervision of their nuclear program. Wouldn't that be nice? If that were to occur, do you think we should provide arms to the Iranian revolutionaries? It would depend on the character of the revolutionaries, but historically, us supporting revolutionaries in a country hasn't panned out well, so my default answer would be no. I think that the most we could like really do, the best we could do, is to say like, hey, I don't know what's going on in Iran right now, but I can say this: if you guys aren't crazy fucking Islamic theocrats when all of this is over, maybe we can have like a trade relation to legitimize your new nation state, you know, like, or your new leadership. The Kurds have a based insurgency in Iran, though. I know, I'm just saying, we don't exactly have a good track record with providing weapons to the right guys. I mean, the Mujahideen were, you know, a seemingly good choice at the time. You got to be careful with this stuff. How do we get on this? Sorry. Look, are we all enjoying this geopolitical ramble? If you could snap your fingers and make the whole world atheist, would you do it? Yes. Nice. Okay, folks, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to hit the add button. I don't know when things with Vermin's tattoo are going to, you know, elicit a pickup, so I don't want stream to go on for too long. But I need to read donations. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to focus on reading donations. We're going to build it out from there. We're going to work from there, okay? It's the first step in a process. I can't talk about the men until I'm properly inspired. I have to be properly inspired. Okay? Big Floppa 420, Thane Robbo, and Glee off 234. Thank you for the tier 1 subs all. Really appreciate that. Likewise, Juzor, Soli, and Fortnite. Angry Vicky, and thank you for the tier 2 sub. Congratulations on getting your first prescription for testosterone blockers. Hell yes. Wrestling with the News, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Really appreciate that. Dino Man and Jason here with the $5. I really appreciate that. Jujutsu Kaisen is the most tropey anime I've ever watched in my life. I can literally predict every single story beat, just regurgitating every older shonen. You're not wrong. That is true. Though, to be fair, Jujutsu Kaisen is also currently running alongside a Chainsaw Man fad, and Chainsaw Man is really contrarian. You know what I mean? So I can understand right now everything that isn't Chainsaw Man is going to be compared to a higher standard of contrarianism. Nap time. Thank you for the $10, baby. Baby. Ooh. Long baby. Ooh, so friendly. Me. Yeah, don't be nervous, Royal Rose. Big yawn. Looks like it has a black lipstick. Funny. Of course, Royal Rose. Leafar, thank you for the $5. I'll give this a look when I can. Bosch Cringe, thank you for the 5. Red Cascadian, thank you likewise. Yes, I've taken a look at the channel Roseanneville. I'll continue to do so. I'm not too obsessed with quality in terms of, like, the leather in my shoes, because I don't plan on using them very rigorously. Like, if I wanted shoes that I wanted to last, like, a long time and weren't just a fashion accessory piece, I would care more. But right now, I'm just trying to fill up the colors. Mr. Mel Jr., Shark Wolf, Dark Wolf, Bat Canary, Linkman, and Linkman again. Thank you for the tier 1 subs all. It's very kind of you. Zoth, thank you likewise. Really appreciate that. Sake Tanuki, thank you for the 8 tier 1 subs. Happy that I was able to get to the VFX segment. Yes, my dad certainly has heard about it. TJQ, thank you for the very kind $25. Jews a part of a synagogue are called a congregation, you damn Gentile. Thank you for letting me know. What does GYAT mean? I'm dumb. It's AAVE slang. It means goddamn or gat damn. See? Gyat damn, like that. Though when I use it, I'm doing something else. Talbert K18, the tier 2 sub. Def Power True. Sake, thank you for the 8 tier 1 subs. I really appreciate that. Not so and not soon, Sake Tanuki. Don't you worry. Zigabiz, thanks to tier 3 sub. Corwin with the 569. I really appreciate that. In the vid, you went over the proposed federal task force to tackle store theft. Anna Kasparian said, I don't think that's necessary. Thanks for all your work. She said that for that subject, but there was another point later on which had to do about, like, support for, like, more funding towards some kind of disciplinary or police action that she didn't directly comment on. I think proposed alongside potential solutions. Her framing in that video was just terrible. Just terrible. TJQ, thank you for the $25. Just paying my garbage man. Love you, mate. Happy to take out the trash any day. Valhalla Vidya, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Really appreciate that. 8D5D2D Derek, I'll take a look at this, but not right now, I don't think. Thank you. Aussie Boo and Angie, thank you for the $5 both. Hakeem being to the right of fucking Ataturk on the Ottoman Empire and being worse on Kurds than Turkish Nazis is insane. Also, he hates Iraqi Turkmen too. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. He's deeply fucking racist. You know? Insane. Joke Roker, thanks the $5. Quick shout out to PV members in your audience who showed up to Phone Bank for Ohio issue 1. PV made 60,000 dials in just a few weeks. Abso-fucking-lutely. Huge dub to PV. They're doing the real work out there. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Saki, thanks the 4 tier 1 subs. Vosh, the king of drip, suit jacket plus monochromatic shorts is the OK Buddy Vosh special. It's definitely comfortable. My current inspo for, like, the idea of a formal wear, or at least semi-formal wear, is from that one men's fashion guy that everyone has seen in their feeds lately. The dude with the black and white drawing of a face for the profile. Let me see if I can find this. Derek guy who doesn't follow me back, which is just sickening. There was one image he posted that I felt was just a good look. He just talks about formal wear. You know, he doesn't talk about fashion general, or at least mostly he talks about formal wear. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. You can't stop me. I'm gonna find. I don't know why I'm not like doing this over here. So much of this fashion shit is completely oriented around wearing clothing that's suited to a cold climate. If you're in a warm area or it's summer, I feel like a lot of it doesn't work as well. I think this looks really good, actually. Does this not look really good? These are high-waisted pants. I've never worn high-waisted pants. I feel like you'd have to be skinny to pull it off because otherwise, I mean, it would kind of like wrap around your belly, but I like that quite a lot. You could wear this in the summer, easily. There was another thing. You also have to be tall. You could look like Danny DeVito if you really wanted to. Where was that? I really have to save these to like a folder or something. Why is the pet bed luminescent? Because there's a light shining on it. I know this is a Budweiser sports coat, and I don't give a shit about Budweiser, but I absolutely love this. I really like newsprint texture and patterning on clothing and furniture. Where is the damn... Man, this guy posts a lot. I'm never gonna find it. Is having a terrible fashion sense an American thing? What did I do? Fuck off. Maybe I already passed it, because I feel like it was way farther up. I don't know. Hello. Why is male fashion dominated by suits? This guy exclusively talks about, like men's formal wear, basically. So this is like a him thing. But I like more casual formal wear, you know? You know, like not like fully up in a suit. That's true, Mistress Lynn. Jesus, Jazz Wizard. Yeah, war is bad, is my general take. Gosh, I'm disappointed in you for getting Doc Martens. Doc Martens suck and were invented by a Nazi. They've been reclaimed. Gays love Doc Martens. Get yourself a pair of Solivairs instead. There wasn't a pair of Solivairs at the place that I went to. They look nice. I'm not saying they don't. Okay, so I'm just not gonna find this. All right. That's fine. That's okay. I don't want to wear like a full suit. I don't like wearing denim. Like, certainly not jean jackets. I don't know what the fuck this is. I like this look, though. I think that looks good. These are sweatpants, I'm pretty sure. Or these are like a tech wear sweatpants kind of thing. But I like this heavy jacket. That fits really well. Though you'd have to have broad shoulders to fit that. I don't really care about, like, suit tailoring, though. What the fuck is this? This is good. It'll keep happening, finished Theologian. All right. Inite with the $30. Saying true seems to be a Vaushite mannerism. A cute girl from college did it, and I just found out she too is a liberal communist horse pervert. I took it from train wrecks, so, you know, the cycle of cultural appropriation continues. I'm happy to hear that you found another person with terrible taste. Times Crusader, thank you for the tier 2 sub. I do think that Ohio GYAT can lead us to socialism. Absolutely. Conciliator, thanks the tier 3 sub. Your husband is bald, your husband is bald, your husband is bald, your husband is bald, your husband is bald. I don't know what this means. But sure. Dirk Gently, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Have you heard of Robin Earhart's podcast? No, I have not. GJ's been on it twice. I could give it a look. Wabbajack, thanks the $5. Thoughts on G5 Luffy? The bits of animation that I saw from the episode were a little overly frenetic. A bit loud, in my opinion. I think it's done just fine in the manga. I'll always rep the manga first. I think you could pull this off. Yeah, probably. Though I'd prefer some texture. This guy looks like he leads a cult and rapes children, I think. American Blow Flu with the $5. Who do you dislike more between TYT and Breaking Points? Dislike more. Breaking Points is far worse politically. In terms of who I'm engaging with currently, though, I'm thinking more about TYT because they like my attention so much. Palm Tree Nirvana, thank you for the $20. El Nino plus climate change equals not good. Yep. Gotta get the wraparound, folks. Hoodies sell out in Tonga as El Nino brings wintry chill. I hope they turn out okay. AT52, thank you for the $5. I said I'll watch it off stream. I'm collecting these links here, but I gotta go. Apparently Hawaii is also on fire right now. Well, they have a volcano. Chainsaw Chimera, thank you for the $5. I'm afraid I don't know who that is, so I couldn't really say. Zoth, thank you for the $5. Second thought, mask off tanky vid for the communist Okay, your link here is broken, and I don't know what you're saying, but I will look at it and try to repair it. Lots of links in chat today. On a day where I have to pick up my friend from getting a tattoo as well. My goodness. You goofy goobers. Let me read the super chats. BH, the $10. TYT's primary message for over a decade was triangulation is wrong, good policy is good politics. Now they're taking the opposite stance and acting like everyone else is crazy for calling them out. No, it's I don't know if it's a money pivot or whatever. I don't know. Appalachian Anarchist, thank you for the 10. May well be. Benjamin Gilbert Leaf, thank you for the $10. I'm happy to hear you're enjoying the TYT Vosh crossover. Gonna go try to get Sam Cedar to like me now. Don't do it by donating a bunch and asking them to talk about me. Tug Speedman and First Amender, thank you for the $5 both. Yeah, I saw First Amender. I'll respond. Street skate videos are good for men's fashion. Street skaters start a lot of trends. I don't think I'd be getting my fashion cues from street skaters, to be honest. I mean, maybe I would, but probably not. I think some of the trends that they've started have been downright heinous, for one. Prairie Fire, good luck with the John Browning. Benjamin, with a very kind $100. I really appreciate that. It really sucks the union wave started with Marvel and not Star Wars, because George Lucas was a socialist who basically invented this industry and not only favored unions, but failed to start one. We need a George Lucas How Star Wars Was Made research stream. I think it would be worth going into the progressivism of George Lucas sometime. Most people just know of him as the funny Star Wars man, but you know, there's some stuff to look into there. But yeah, this union shit should have taken off a long time ago. Chuck Whiskey, thanks for the $2. James 93, thank you for the $20. Really appreciate that. Anna is a lesson in not taking criticism personally. You don't take criticism personally, which is why I respect you. Your sober-mindedness when criticizing people is why you're able to stay principled while other leftists fail. Yeah, you know, it's just all these people are so emotional. You know, that's the. I mean, it's not really a logic versus emotion thing. I don't think. I get plenty emotional. It's just very specifically, if you want to be a political advocate, you can't have your position swayed by stuff like that. Like I'm asking for control in a specific fashion. You know. Darren Osborne with the $10. OMG, I'm so glad to catch you live. I'm a new fan. You're my personal hero. Aw. Thank you for standing up for me, trans socialists, and other people like me. It's my pleasure. And thank you for standing up for yourself. And if you're not doing that, you should. Thank you. Really, it's kind of you. Chemical North 20, thank you for the $5. I have not seen that video, but I think my editors recommended it to me. Atheist Jewish Messiah, thank you for the $5. Didn't the Iraqi army suffer from the same corruption as the Afghani army, just having unqualified officers who were paid for their commission? Yes, though the Iraqi army had the distinct benefit of not having to deal with the Taliban the same way the ANA did. So, you know, there's that. Burrito Supreme, thank you for the $10. Have you heard about the Republican Superman fan film, Superman Solar, that just came out? Some nostalgia critic levels of filmmaking? No? That sounds fantastic. What? I might take a look at that. Meta, thanks the $2. Yes, it probably would. Sake, thanks the 4 tier 1 subs. Yeah, we looked at this, yeah. But there was never any doubt. The 2 Democratic lawmakers in the Tennessee special elections were reappointed without fuss. They were thrown right back in there. There was no doubt this would happen. D5 to Derek, thank you for the hoax. If you're not going to watch the video, at least see this. What is this? Wait, but this is the video. Wait, no, don't be insisting that I watch a video.
Have you recently lost a loved one because of a gas leak disaster? Have you suffered injury, shock?
This audio is copyright. Nope. That's on OK Buddy Vouch. That has to be. Nope, we're not doing this. No, it's not. Then it will be soon. Then put it on there if you want me to see it. How is that copyright? That's not copyrighted, Lamau. Is that not literally just audio from Better Call Saul? Republican Superman hears him saving a jumper? What?
The tomorrow and the day after and so forth will never be any better, but always worse.
This guy looks like Soy Mac from It's Always Sunny.
Then, against every fiber in my being, I will move out of the way and watch you fall to the ground.
You know the news will tear you apart for not stopping me.
Probably. But if you believe, without a doubt, that tomorrow and the day after and so forth will never be any better, but always...
Wait, seriously? That's the lesson? The gang makes a Superman film. Well, committing suicide is a sin. You know, God will punish you in hell if you commit suicide. But if you don't commit suicide and you feel ashamed of yourself for having thought about it, well, God does like that. Oh, what the hell? Oh, man. All right, okay. What? Okay. Couldn't you find a beefy dude? Okay, all right. That's just, okay. Couldn't you find a beefy guy? That guy's probably like the director or something. Ever thought about getting a sports car? No, I have no interest in getting a sports car. A woo replicate. E63S Mercedes? If I got a sports car, it wouldn't be this either. I don't know. This looks boring as shit. I feel like this is the equivalent of guys who brag about how their suit cost $4,000 and it just looks like a regular suit. You know? Like $112,000 at starter price for this? What the fuck? Like, really? Get an electric car, you degenerate fuck. The choice has already been made, soaked on left. Don't worry about it. Sake with the 4 tier 1 subs. The true Vosh drip. That's true. We have to do enough Vosh spam reviews as well. Guys, if you want a sports car, okay, just go Mazda. Fucking whatever. Don't they have? Isn't the MX-5? Is that even a sports car? The MX-5 is like 30,000 or something. It's like nothing. It's free basically. But it looks like that. Sure. I just like, you know, I think it's crazy that a car can cost 30,000 and look like this personally, but I guess it's all like pretty arbitrary. The MX-5 is like the 4th most reliable car in the market right now too. Nice. I want 800 horsepower, not a laughing stock. For driving in the city? That's the thing that I don't get about, like, the super souped up engines when you're driving around the city. You're not using that, ever. You're never using that. That's a cute car. Yeah, it's a cute car. Look, I like it in tan or in beige or whatever. It's a light car too. Yeah, it's really small. I don't know if I'd want to ride around in a open-topped car in a city, though. All right, folks. I'll be here tomorrow as well. I just got to make sure I'm ready to pick Vermin up. But you'll see Vermin's tattoo probably next stream. I love you. I love you all very much. You're all beautiful people. I am going to send you over to... God, I feel like I have this feeling in my head like we spent half of the stream talking about monstrous like war crimes in Iraq, and it's weighing on me psychically. Here, I'm going to throw you guys over to Dylan Burns. Dylan Burns went over the entirety of that Second Thought video recently and is also apparently going over something new from Ukraine, which means you can probably stand to learn something, right? I mean, imagine learning about politics. I love you guys. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow.